Disclaimer. Welcome to Two Cops, One Donut podcast. The views and opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Two Cops, One Donut, its host, or affiliates. The podcast is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. We do not endorse any guests' opinions or actions discussed during the show. Any content provided by guests is of their own volition, and listeners are encouraged to form their own opinions. Furthermore, some content is graphic and has harsh language. Viewer discretion advised and is intended for mature audiences. Two Cops, One Donut and its host do not accept any liability for statements or actions taken by guests. Thank you for listening. Right, welcome back to Two Cops, One Donut. I'm your host, Sgt Erik Lavigne. I got with me today, as always, my co-host, my laggy co-host, Banning Sweatland. What's going on, Banning?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Not much, not much. I got in the house, badge 502, the one and only. How are you, sir?
Hi, everybody.
And then we got the man, the myth, the legend behind the scenes, out front and center, Mr. Alan Nelson. What's up, buddy?
Not much. How are you, gentlemen?
Oh, doing wonderful. That mic's sounding crispy, buddy. I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
You
got the same mic.
Yeah,
Fancy.
I like it. Wrong podcast, sir. Wrong podcast. That's for that podcast we said about banning earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay, so agenda today, guys. First and foremost, I missed last week. Sorry. Had things going on. I was out of state and just the way things went. Other news is we're going to be moving to Sunday nights. So Sunday nights, 9 Eastern. I got pushed back on nights. I have fulfilled my destiny, if you will, on day shift and got bumped back to my, I shouldn't say bumped back. That was my spot. I just was trying to go to days to help out the other day sergeant. And I accomplished everything that he needed done. And they said, all right, appreciate it. Go back to nights. So I'm on nights.
Away.
Yeah, go shoo. You're no use to us anymore. Go.
You lackey.
Yeah. So I left. I'm back on nights. So that means Monday night is no longer available for me. So I am switching to Sunday nights. And I know it competes with football and all that stuff. You know what? I don't care. It is what it is. It's better than doing it on a Tuesday night or anything like that, which I'm not available anyway. So
fair.
Tonight I have opened the floodgates. Okay. There's a lot of people that they have stuff to say. They always want to participate in our conversations. That part's cool. There's also a lot of people that they want to talk and troll and do all this stuff. And I always approach the same people that try to troll or try to say that we're full of shit or whatever it is. I give you a platform to come on here and discuss or debate whatever it is you want to talk about. Because sometimes I agree with you. You just don't shut your mouths, so I can tell you. You just want to keep chatting and chirping at me. And I'm like, if you just shut up for a second, you'd understand. We probably agree more than we disagree.
Mucho blah, blah, blah.
So, yeah. So I opened the door for y'all tonight. If you want to be on here and you got a topic you want to discuss, all you need is a mic and a camera. So you could do that from your cell phone, technically.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder if you're not doing it from a computer, I'll be honest. But if you jump into our Discord, the mods are going to be posting the link. Jump into our Discord and talk to our mods about wanting to be on. Just do it in the general chat. That's where everybody I think is doing it tonight, and do that. So I am looking over at our chat and seeing who's in the house tonight. Mr. Billfold said, I wish the trolls would jump on. I only troll Eric about his take on qualified immunity. So see, and that's the funny part too. We've talked about qualified immunity. I agree with a lot of qualified immunity people that don't like it, that it needs to be changed. So a lot of people think it needs to go away, period. I'm of the opinion it just needs to be fixed. It has problems. But I think the purpose of it, we need to have it so we can keep cops doing the job. Because if you give them no protection, I don't see them doing it. Even if it's just perceived protection. Because Mr. Billfold's going to go nuts. Well, that's not to protect. They even without it, I get it. Mr. Billfold. I'm saying it's the perceived, It's like me saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you this car," and you'd be like, "Okay, cool, but what's the insurance?" And you're like, "Well, it doesn't have insurance because you don't need it because you're not going to get in an accident." I don't know. I'm not going to get on that. No. So, what is going on in your world, Banning? Let everybody know.
Man, I just the past week had a big get together for work. So was down in the San Antonio area. It's with the tech company I work for, and they had sales kickoff. So we got to see all the new stuff that's coming in for 2026, and it's been great. And I got a lot of travel coming up, and life is good, man. Kids are great, wife is great, and today's another day.
I like it. I like that, sir. I'm looking at Anthony desperately try to figure out why he's lagging. I can see it.
I'm
in
lagging
his face.
bad.
I can see it in his face. Alan, you're doing fine, buddy.
Yeah, it's all right though, because I like to talk and then see what it looked like when I was talking. So it's pretty cool.
Oh shit. Okay.
I look around the room real fast. I can see if I have.
Is that a green screen behind you, Anthony?
No, that's his office, buddy.
Is that your actual? Okay, I'm making sure because every time Banning puts his up, you might as well wait like 6 seconds. So, like something about restreaming a green screen. Don't go.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I like my desktop so much that I wanted it on camera, so I had to build a whole nother setup in front of my setup. So I have the setup in front of the setup.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. The one behind him is for his OnlyFans feet page, and then
100%.
Yeah. So then he just has to turn around, kick his feet up on the desk, and let
for
them do all the work. Yeah.
Well, he does have a spot there above his head that where that silver plaque's gonna go. So.
That is true. That is true. I think we need to give a round of applause for Badge 502 and getting his silver plaque from YouTube, 100,000 followers.
That was a wild ride. I've been making content since like 2000, say 10, since I started my first my paintball page back in the day, and that was a lot of fun. And I had a firearms education one, and firearms news and education. I had a an athletic journey one. Where I was doing tough mutters
from an EMT. I don't know how much I
was a range safety officer and a firearms instructor before I was an EMT.
I don't think I would respect that page knowing you're an EMT. Nope.
I was so funny on it too. I thank you, sir. I got to make fun of senators. It was great.
Humble and funny. What can you do?
Old school digital robot. But yeah, finally, who would have thought that talking about butt stuff on the internet would get you?
His beard used to be black when he started.
Actually, 100%. If I pulled up a video, you wouldn't even believe it. Lots of earrings, whole bunch of earrings.
His hair is down to his chest.
My hair was flipped up in the front real high.
Oh, I had that one. Yep. Alan's
so cool.
Still almost rocking that.
Yeah. I was the coolest kid this side of shenanigans.
Nice. But yeah, if you guys are in the audience tonight, if you jump on our Discord, and our mods are going to be posting the Discord channel several times. One, we're trying to encourage more traffic over to our Discord. And two, we want to give back to the community that's been helping us build. And I think that one thing that nobody does is they never open their platform for their people to be on there. I think Pornhub was probably the first one to start doing that. And then nobody got that joke. Jeez, oh Pete. You guys don't remember the controversy? Yeah. They were visiting their top fans. So I was like, holy shit.
Is that true? That's amazing.
Yeah. That was all over my Hotmail news back when that first started.
It was back on your CompuServe email.
Yeah, exactly.
The web TV.
Shit. But yeah, if you guys want to get on, you got to have a camera, you got to have a question, topic, video, and you got to let our mods know what it is so they can check it out and let us know that it's worthy of jumping on. I think we've already got a little line going. It's not that not everybody's got the stuff to do this or the willingness or stuff like that. So
you really have to have you got to have the stones and the cojones to lag with me, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So Trey may be joining us tonight. We're not 100% sure. He said he was available on Sunday nights, and he said on his Gateway computer too. Gateway was the shit back in the day, wasn't it?
That Mookout computer, baby. You couldn't play games with that.
You got to get online and build it and wait 6 weeks for it to get delivered.
Oh yeah, man. Then the cow box would come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
These guys don't know.
They don't.
They don't know.
I don't know.
There wasn't sourcing graphics cards. That wasn't a thing. You just bought your computer.
Yep. When that thing came in, and then it was not too terribly long after the Nextel started coming out.
Yep.
Oh, I miss my Nextel so much.
I do too. Okay, so tell me if you guys learned this trick, because this is what we would do. I would wait. We'd have a buddy go to the store or whatever and wait for them to send them on a trip. I was working for a painting business at the time. So we had a dude go on a lunch trip and, like, hit us up, when you get there. So he gets there and he's pulling. He's like, hey, I'm just pulling in now, guys. And we're like, all right, cool. So you wait about 3-4 minutes so he's inside and everybody can hear it. And then you just get on that thing. Oh, you piece of shit, motherfucker. Like, just start whatever it was you wanted to do. That, oh, yeah. I don't think that was a thing then, but I think we did something like that. And you couldn't stop it. You had to run to your phone to try to get it out there and turn the fucking volume all the way down.
I used to love my Nextel, man. It was just so convenient, It was so nice. Just a quick
yes. Oh my God, it was so annoying. Marine Blood, I want to do it right away, baby. So let's start with the first one. If you got somebody to bring on, let's get it going. Guys, for those listening, we have no idea who's coming on. We don't know what the question is. We don't know anything. The only people that do know are our mods, and we're putting a lot of faith in them to screen these people. Mm-hmm. Does this Discord thing come on a floppy disk download or what? Oh shit! Not many people.
5.5, baby. 5.5.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to pull it up on my my 33.6 modem.
Oh yeah. Mom, hang up the phone. He cut you off the internet completely.
Killed the party line.
Yeah. That was the thing. If somebody picked up the phone while you was on the internet, done.
Crashed.
Yep.
Crashed.
Yep. You'd be right in the middle of a chat room on AOL trying to, like, troll everybody. Wasn't even a word yet.
Yeah.
Your mom's a bitch. And then you just get kicked out by whatever. There it was.
There it is. The trauma.
Right.
That's
Remember, you got so good at the 2 Cops 1 Donut. Loving the content. Great to see you. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, John Verde. You got so good at the hearing the modem noise that you knew when you had a really good connection versus a crap connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because I remember learning how to change the number that it would use to get on, and people were like, how'd you get on so quick? And I'm like, I'm a hacker.
Good like that, bro.
I'm a hacker. I would download progs. They call them progs, short for programs that were you could color bomb people's AOL
glasses up a little higher. Nerd.
Yeah. Oh, I was super nerd. Super nerd. I was all mischievous shit too. Color bomb on AOL to, like, kick people out of their. Yeah. Oh, stupid shit. Yeah, they call it color bomb because it would send you so many instant messages, and it would be a different color in the background every time. So they call it color bombing. And,
I've been dying, and I don't even know what to do about it because I'm not someone who really uses like WhatsApp or any of those type of messaging programs.
I don't use
I want
unsecure one
to be able to send people basically an away message from my text message. Like, if you send me a text, I want to be able to have an auto message go out that says, hey, busy.
They got those?
I can't do it. I don't know how though. I know there's one way. Allegedly, there was one way to do it by setting your do not disturb to driving, and it would send out a message, but it never sent one out for me. So
really? All right, we got our first guest, guys. All right, let's see who we got.
God, I'm so nervous.
I tried to. There we go.
I hope I put on deodorant.
Oh, we got the chaplain. All right, everybody, stop drinking. Don't swear. Chaplain, what's going on, brother?
Doing well. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, living the dream. We're just seeing how it goes tonight. We're seeing how it sounds like our mods started. They wanted Jesus on their side, so they got the chaplain on board.
So I am go.
You good to go?
Sorry about that. I was getting a little reverb.
Oh, okay. Are you still good? We'll sound check for you. There's no rush.
You're still good.
Yes, now I can hear everything.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Sorry about that.
No worries. I just want to make sure
So
you're good to
I
go.
had Banning, great to see you again since I saw you down in Florida, and really appreciate seeing you, sir. I had a couple questions. Number one, which is, why is it that more law enforcement departments and agencies don't bring on qualified professional chaplains to be a part of their quality teams? In other words, someone that has gone through the proper training, etc., to be there, not just for the clinical side, but the emotional, spiritual side as well. And yet, at the same time, they want them to volunteer, but yet we don't want them to be a part of the team. Why is that?
Okay, so first, Chaplain, before we jump into this, can you please explain to the layman out there what a chaplain is and does for a police department?
I can. So, as a police chaplain, I am licensed and trained to provide emotional and spiritual well-being support, not just to the officers, but also to the community. In addition, I am trained for doing death notifications. I'm trained for suicide. I'm trained for quite a few different aspects. As a non-sworn officer, the community will speak to me differently than they will my officers, and so it's actually an opportunity to have a better conversation between the two. And so, a chaplain can step into that role and basically help to de-escalate when certain individuals are anti-police. Sometimes they're able to show up and they can say something to an officer about maybe this is not the right time. How about give me a chance to talk to the family, since I can recognize that there are having some additional emotional problems or physical problems, and I can help and assist in that manner. That's what a chaplain can do, and so much more.
I like it. Okay, so now that everybody kind of understands, I'm going to address Uncle Fatty's comment here. He said, great point. Local county jails are also in serious need for inmate chaplains. So something to keep in mind. What are you drinking there tonight, Chaplain?
Oh, well, I'm not drinking as well as you are, sir, since I can't get your version out here.
Okay.
But this is just a Pendleton right now.
Oh, Pendleton's wonderful.
So.
I am partaking in some private stock Smoke Wagon tonight. Shout out to Smoke Wagon, best bourbon on earth. Not a sponsor.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're trying.
That's right.
But okay. So, question first, Chaplain, that I have for you is, what happens when that person is in a particular denomination? Or
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter. So as a chaplain, you're trained to accept, appreciate, and to love everyone exactly where they are. I have worked with Muslim, I've worked with Hindu, I've worked with atheist, I worked with Christian, I worked with, it doesn't matter. And so the first thing is proselytization. If you do not heard that word before, proselytization is when someone chooses to force or try to impose their belief system on somebody else. In law enforcement or even in the military, you can't do that. It's not allowed.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So I'll go with my perspective first on the question about why chaplains aren't utilized more in law enforcement. Now, I can't say because where I'm at, we have chaplains. They are utilized. I think if anything, it's we don't have enough chaplains coming forward that want to help. They're spread out. So for where I'm at, it's not because they're not wanted or needed or used. Just simply, we're a big city and they can't possibly, I think we have 2 or 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that volunteer their time. Just like you said, they volunteer their time when they can, but it's just so big. Now, for smaller cities and stuff, then I think that addresses your part of the question a lot more. Because we see the value in it. In a big city, we see the value in it. Anytime you have somebody, one, that's willing to take the risk and the liability, because let's face it, chaplains put themselves in some scary spaces. For those that don't know that, I want you to watch the movie Saving Private Ryan, and you see the field chaplain just going across praying for people that are dying. Like, I swear to you, that's how chaplains are in the field with police. They do some nutty moves sometimes.
That's a fantastic movie on top of that.
Yeah. But I also think that could be a part of the issue, is the liability issue that some departments may not want to take. They don't understand it. They haven't seen the value or the fruits of that labor. So I think ignorance could be a big part of that, of why they're not taking it and addressing it and rolling with it. But that's me speculating. I don't know. I guess I have a good impression of chaplains because being military, chaplains are awesome. We had a miscarriage. We had 2 miscarriages actually. And oh my God, I leaned so hard on our chaplain at that point. Cause my wife's blaming herself. I'm blaming me, not being able to do anything. And I didn't know how to express my feelings as a young 20-something-year-old military kid. Like, and my chaplain really helped me grow, even though he's from Ohio. I'm from Michigan. Shout out to Chaplain Wells. To this day, I could call him up and, just chew his ear, and great dude. So for me, I've always had a great impression of chaplains, but that hasn't been everybody's experience. It's not that they've had bad experiences with chaplains. I just think they've had none. And so then when you got a chaplain that's willing to come in, they're like, I don't know about that. I don't know. But
you see, that's why there's, we have 11 chaplains for CMPD. I work with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. I got no qualms saying that.
Shout out to Emily Spindler.
I also I work with Stallings Police Department, Union County Sheriff. I work with Anson County Sheriff and many other organizations and agencies. One of the things that I always advise for every new chaplain, because I do teach quite a few chaplains, whether it be going down to like Miami-Dade. I've even had some classes I've done for NYPD, NYMTA, and LAPD and more. Number one, get yourself a vest, because if your officer is cold, you need to be cold. If they're hot, you better be hot. If they're wet, you're wet. And whatever's said in the car stays in the car. And whenever you go into the division or the precinct or however you call it, you go top down. You talk to the captain if he's there. Then you talk to your lieutenant. Then you talk to the sergeant. Then you talk to the line. But you don't go up. There's always a one way every day. And you create this bond by being, one, available at 3 o'clock in the morning, because nothing good ever happens at 3 a.m. And in addition to that, everything is kept in strict confidence. So I don't care if one person is just, saying some BS on the side. You don't gossip about it. You just nod your head, accept it, and let it roll off, and leave it right where it's at. If it was in the car, you leave it in the car. And so every good chaplain should wear their vest and be outside with their officers. DV, you can make sure that they go first. Especially if it's in the kitchen, you stay outside the kitchen.
Domestic violence, for those wondering what he's talking about.
I'm sorry. Yes. Yep. And so there's when you said that chaplains can get into precarious situations, I mean, not your exact words, but basically that. Yeah. And my officers are probably more protective of me than they are of themselves.
Yep.
It looks like we got a question on there from Mr. Lawrence. It says, Campbell chaplain is cool. I love you, bro. However, certain chaplains simply seek to manufacture distrust, largely on racial lines, such as Chris Nettles. What do you have to say about religious figures like him?
Well, first thing is, when it comes to religious figures, you won't. I believe that a chaplain, a true police chaplain, is not there for themselves. They're not self-promoting it. They're there for their officers. My officers are more important to me than most of my family, because they are my family. When you have the distrust that's made by certain religious figures, then you got to ask yourself, why? What was their reasoning for doing what they did or saying what they said that caused that distrust? And take yourself out of it. What's most important? Is it more important to focus on all these negatives, or is it more important to focus on your faith and also your support for your officers? I would rather focus on my officers.
I like it.
And I
Agreed.
just in my career, when I worked at a larger agency in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, anytime we had a fatality, vehicle crash, a suicide, or even a natural cause death that would get filtered through our dispatch center, if I was on duty, I would always call our fire chaplain. He was amazing. And I would call Steve out there, either it being on a crash site, because we all know in the first responder industry, when that crash site is going to be there for a long time, it's going to get reconstructed, roads are going to get shut down, and we're going to find out what truly happened to these victims. And having a chaplain on scene, especially if family members come, and also for the first responders on scene, was always a great idea. I've never seen it perceived as anything less. So my hats are off to the men and women out there that do this. It's not the easy. I mean, we're all in a career, I guess it's not easy to do, but being a chaplain, becoming a chaplain is just not, it's not for everybody. And you got to truly be committed for those 2-3 o'clock in the morning call outs. And you got to be able to go out there and comfort the staff of the agency and to comfort the families that may have just lost somebody. And it's a full circle. So hats off to you, brother. I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Banning, about making notifications and doing stuff like that. I've had to make notifications without a chaplain. I hate it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't like it. I can do it, but not everybody can. Even those that are willing to do it, it doesn't mean you're going to come across the way that you should come across. It is a finely tuned skill. I do consider myself a people person, but that ain't a time to be a people person. That's can
I share a quick story?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Perfect. We were having a critical incident debrief after a officer involved shooting a couple years ago. And that's one of the things that I do is I'm also, I lead a lot of our critical incident debriefs. And as I was going there, all of a sudden we had a suicide. Two of my officers responded to it, and we have a lady in our front glass, and we call her the Supreme Commander. And when you see her face change, and she said, "Chap, this is gruesome." And I said, "Got you." So I called up my lieutenant. And I said, "Somebody else has got to fill in. I'm going over, to the scene." When I self-deployed there, the self-deploy means, I normally don't go unless I'm asked to go. In this case, I just knew better. So I went, and 3 of my officers were there. And a 21-year-old kid had shot himself in the head with a revolver, and but he was a high-level spectrum autistic, and he was playing with his new revolver that he purchased, showing his girlfriend on the Zoom call when he did it. The mother happens to be she was soon to be a counselor, a licensed counselor, but not yet. The roommate found everything. It was quite gruesome, was the word that was given to me, and that is exactly what it was. And I had 2 officers standing there, and just showing up, you could see that their posture changed. All of a sudden, their tone slightly changed. I went and talked to the family, and some of the things going on with the family, we got things resolved. There was a sister that was about 2.5 hours away. I made calls. I had a chaplain over there from a different department show up on scene to be with the sister when the family was able to get there to provide that notification. This way they weren't by themselves. In addition to all that, when we were done for the night, I asked my officers, I said, y'all haven't eaten? And they're like, nope. And I said, let's go get some pizza. And they're like, yep. They had been there at that scene for, I think, 7 hours at that point. And so we went, got some pizza, but we sat around that table and just being present. And that was the key. Didn't have to say anything to them. They started having their own conversation about military deployments and different stuff, and you let them have that conversation. You just sit there and be present. Allow them just to blow off the steam that they need to. All of a sudden, by the end, they're laughing. No longer looking looking as though that they saw something they can't unsee, even though that's true, but more of a, okay, I can take one more day now. Because sometimes for law enforcement, as a outside perspective, it's not just day to day. Sometimes it's hour to hour and even minute to minute. And so when you're just present for them, and I'm not giving me an attaboy for, I'm just saying that that's what chaplains do. You show up on scene, you be there, you assess, each person, you provide them the space that they need. And then when everyone's gone, you're still there for them.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
Yep. Badge 502 now, he's out in the New Jersey area. He's been an EMT and dispatcher, so he's all around the first responder stuff. And what has been your experience with chaplains?
So we do not have for any of our departments a designated chaplain. However, we do have for both of my departments a spiritual guidance directive where we can go to a faith of our choice, and we have people who are ready to speak with us, and they're on call, they're ready to go. But we don't have anybody that specifically comes to us. I would be very hard pressed to believe that if we called that they wouldn't. But we have not, at least in my experience, we haven't had anybody come to us. I do know that there's only so much you can do without having the ability to reach out to somebody. You can't pour from an empty cup. So it's demonstrably important to be able to have somebody to speak to. So I'm a firm believer in a chaplain can only bring benefit to a department, regardless of what that type of department is.
Yeah, I hate to put it in the same context, but I mean, you guys will kind of understand where I'm going with this without trying to get specifically religious, but the bearing the burdens of other people's tragedies, and that's what the chaplain's doing. And it's hard because as a cop, we see it too. We also have a way of, we've got to bear some of the burdens of what we see. And that's not a woe is me, look at all these cops that have to do, you signed up for it, you knew what you're getting into. I understand that argument, but my point is some of the traumas that we see
still doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good, and it's hard. Not everybody is equipped the same way. I'm really good at compartmentalizing in a way that is healthy. I don't ignore it to the point where I'm just burying stuff. I don't drink my problems away, although I do like to partake occasionally. But at the same time, not everybody's, just because I can do that, I can't look at Banning and go, why can't you do it, bro? I can fucking do it. Like, sorry, chaplain, forgive me.
Hey, brother, just so you know, I was in special operations in the military for a number of years. There's nothing you can say I haven't said.
All right. So, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's why chaplains are awesome.
He invented those words.
Yeah, right. He'd make us blush with the things he can say.
Do me a favor and throw up Jeremy Willingham's comment up there.
I had it up there, but yeah, I'll throw it up again. Jeremy said, great topic. Chaplains are absolutely needed, military and LE. Chaplains are someone to talk to in the trenches when an officer may not want to talk to leadership, especially when dealing with trauma.
Yep.
That's
And
100% true.
And you got to meet him, Chaplain Campbell, down in Florida. He was with me. He works at my company. He's a retired full bird colonel out of the Army and works on our federal side now and does a fantastic job on that. Just a great guy all around. And I know for a fact that he is probably more on one occasion got to use a chaplain in his previous line of work.
Yep. Constitution Country Girl News said to the chaplain, "What do you do when there's an atheist in distress, family member lost suddenly, etc.? Do you ask about belief systems before you give them advice or comfort?"
Absolutely not. Here's what I do. You love the person where they are. Matter of fact, I generally don't even ask them about their belief. And I don't even ask them anything about their faith. If I show up and because someone had died in this manner, I may ask them, do you happen to have a pastor, priest, or someone that I can call for you that you know? And if they have a religious belief system, then they will go ahead and, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, would you please call so-and-so? Or I've already called so-and-so. Great. Well, then what can I do for you? Can I go get you some water?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just sit next to you for a little bit? And
Yeah.
sometimes, case in point, I sat next to this young lady who had lost her son. His son was 11, if I remember correctly. I had gotten her some water. I probably sat there for 35 plus minutes, not saying a word. She wasn't saying a word. The medical examiner was doing what they needed to do. And eventually she stood up. So I stood up. She looked at me. She asked me if I could hug her. I hugged her. She kept crying. All of a sudden she stopped and she says, "Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you said and everything you did." She walked away, and because they were getting ready to take her son away. I never said a word.
Yeah.
Just being there. That's all she needed.
When we were going through our miscarriage, I swear that was the majority of our sessions was just sitting in silence. And it I don't know, I don't understand it. I'm not gonna say why, but
Presence.
it's just presence is amazing. And I think that's the right call as far as not bringing up faith and all that stuff. It makes sense because it really doesn't matter in the moment.
That's right.
You in the moment we're addressing whatever that they're going through that they need. And I have found more often than not what they need comes to light naturally. They like it just, you don't have to ask a lot. They just, whether it's a shoulder, a hug, an embrace, whatever it is. Sometimes they just want to yell and scream and be angry, and you're the face of it. You just sit back and take it. And that's coming from a street cop's perspective. I like the chaplain said, the thing that I want you guys to really understand that I see with chaplains is long after we've cleared, and that's kind of the point I was getting to, is I've seen a lot of tragedies, but I get to clear. I get to clear rather quickly in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture, where the chaplains, they're in it for the long haul. They'll call back. They come back. They don't leave. That's another thing. I've had a chaplain say, "I'll get a ride. Like, I'm going to stay here." And I'm like, oh shit, I can't leave my chaplain here. So you're trying to figure out how this is going to work. But another point that I wanted to bring up, chaplain, that you kind of touched on that maybe you didn't think about, I'm sure you have in all your experience, but Banning and Badge 502, you tell me. Part of me is going to feel responsible for the chaplain. I mean, as it should. And if I get into a hairy situation that I won't lie, chaplains have talked me into letting them go into some scary situations. But if something happens to them, man, that's going to be a hard one to swallow. And then you got to look at God later on. Be like, I don't know. I let him go. I probably shouldn't have done
Turned my
that.
back for 2 seconds.
Yeah, He got all holy on me. I didn't know what to do.
Well, I will say this. I'm privileged because my officers have always kept my safety as priority. So when we're rolling up to a certain call where we know that the house, we know that person, and we know what's going on, first thing which it doesn't matter who it is, but the officer that I'm riding with, undoubtedly will say, "Chap, I need you to get out and get behind the vehicle when we show up." Okay, so what do? I get out and I get behind the vehicle when we show up. Now, I will stay there behind the vehicle until I get told otherwise. Even though everything else is already getting taken care of, the dude may have been put into cuffs and they forgot about me. That's fine. You stay where you're told to be because that's where they know, mental mark, that's where they put you. There's times, though, that I had one officer, we had no backup that was available at that time. And they had active sensors going off inside this one home. And so priority one, they're going in where he was going in, but he had nobody. And he's like, there's a vehicle here. I don't. And I looked at him and I said, I'm going to be right behind you. And he goes, you don't have a gun. I said, I know. I said, don't tell anybody. And so I went in and I allowed him to go do his clearing that he was doing, but I made sure nobody was going to walk up behind him. Now, was that a smart thing to do? Probably not. Was that allowed by policy for that department? Because I'm not mentioning that department, which one it was.
So no,
probably not. But you know what? Would I do it again? 100%. And what's funny is that when backup was finally able to show up, because that it's a smaller department, when the backup finally showed up, the officer ran in, looks at me, and said, "What? Are you running around doing your,
finger guns?" Yeah, Charlie's Angel.
He was doing that Charlie's Angel pose.
Yeah.
Charlie's Angel?" And I'm like, "You bet I am." but
He's out there having a pillow fight.
Right.
That's right.
Nice.
But you're not going to allow him to go in there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't clear by yourself. And if you got active sensors going off, which end up being somebody did get in the house, but they ran out, but their dog all of a sudden got loose and the dog was tripping all the sensors. So they thought somebody was really in there.
Yeah.
And ends up not being anybody at all.
I would have been like, Chaplain, start barking. Come on with your hands up or I'm going to let the dog loose.
Oh, man.
Put your weight around here.
Right.
But we discussed earlier about some death notifications, things like that. Now I want to segue this into my second question, if that's okay.
All right. We'll
My second
allow
question. You allow it? Thank you.
it. Yeah, we'll allow it today, Chaplain.
Thank you. So it ends up that there is a public law, and I was just trying to, which I've already written about it. When I was asking about this earlier, and I don't have it right here in front of me, but there is a public law specific for law enforcement suicide. And that public law is where it mandates, well, I shouldn't say mandates, it allows for law enforcement agencies to identify and share when they've had a law enforcement suicide or attempted suicide in their department. And unfortunately, when this was put into place, when it was assigned, I think it was 2023, they put a very specific word in there that the departments may say something. Not required. In the year 2023, only 7 departments or agencies across the entire United States, only 7 reported. You only had 112 reported in 2024. Now, we can find statistics from all kinds of different locations that have been trying to track it. But the problem is that our own government hasn't been promoting, let's get the real numbers. Now, there is obviously a stigma for law enforcement officers that they don't want to talk about suicide. There's a stigma that they don't want to talk about, that there's having a problem, a mental wellness issue. I get that. But I want to give you some quick numbers. 2023, there was 720,652 full-time police officers. At that time, roughly 20%, which is 144,130, were military veterans. Of those veterans, ends up 31% were combat veterans. Today, that number is actually higher. We have more combat veterans as police officers. With that, veterans account for approximately 25% of all officer suicides. And it ends up, if you're over the age of 40 and you're Caucasian and you're prior military, combat veteran, you're at the second highest rate for the possibility of suicide. So you're already identified. That being said, why is it that more agencies and departments don't request or mandate that their congressmen change the law from a may report to will report? And why is it that there's still the stigma within the agencies of trying to hide different suicide acts by identifying them as a accidental firearm discharge, which when I was doing my thesis in law enforcement suicide for my master's, that is exactly what the FBI agent, he gave me a case number to go look up. And that's exactly what happened. Gentleman had his weapon for over 7 years, had been on the department for 11 years, combat veteran, over 40. And he was cleaning his weapon and there was an accidental discharge. Interestingly, if you research a little bit further, which I did, he was separated from his wife, preparing to go through a divorce. He had 2 kids in college, and he just took out a second mortgage on the house because he was upside down in all of his credit cards. Now you tell me, was he really suicidal, or was he just having an accidental discharge day?
Yeah.
And so if we don't identify and have true numbers even being reported, then we can't even begin to see how big the problem is. When you have a law enforcement officer that is committing suicide every 52 hours, 52 hours right now.
Well, and I'm going to add to that, Chaplain Campbell, and we briefly spoke about this in Florida. The ODMP will still, and this is a national organization, nonprofit, that posts line of duty deaths across the country. Am I saying that right, Eric? I believe that's what it's.
Yeah.
You only have a couple organizations out there that are covering suicides in the first responder industry. I'm not going to say their names right now. They've one of them's changed their names a couple times in the past 5 years. However, I believe that needs to be publicly available when it's found of that. People need to understand how high the suicide rate is in the first responder industry, because it's a lot higher than what people think. Oh, yeah. 22 Kill is a great nonprofit out there that focuses primarily on the military veterans organizations. But we do need to have more for the first responders. And there's some that spin off. There's some that grow. There's some good ones that are out there. I've highlighted a few on the show within the past couple of years, but it needs to be seen. The number is unset. The departments, and I will publicly always say it, it's on the chief or the sheriff. You've got to have proper things in place to make sure our men and women that are out here doing this to have an outlet. They've got to have something, whether that be a chaplain, whether that be an organization they can lean on. But the suicide rates have they not gotten worse since 2012, 2013? I mean, they've really significantly gone up.
Yeah. So one of the questions that was brought up, chaplain, is who do chaplains talk to when they've seen these things?
That's a great question. Chaplains talk to chaplains. And I have no qualm saying I have my own counselor. I am a pastoral counselor as well. I talk to a counselor. I have a standing 2:00 in the afternoon every Friday appointment, whether it's in person, a phone call, or even just a check-in, which could be a text message like, hey, I'm doing okay. Or it's been a rough week and I need to have a cup of coffee with you. Let's go get a slice of pie somewhere.
I like
But
that.
chaplains talk to chaplains.
Okay.
So only, and here's the other thing about that. It's not just any chaplain. Police chaplains, it is best that they talk to police chaplains because only another police chaplain will understand. A normal chaplain would not
Yeah.
understand what we see.
Okay. I want to direct a question over to Badge 502 because he has a unique perspective that me and Banning won't understand, and maybe the chaplain will. Badge 502, as an EMT, I will say it's safe to say between Banning and I, we see traumas, but not nearly as often as you would. EMTs, they see every trauma, every bad trauma, they see it. Where police, if that's your call, that's your call. If it's Karen, complaining about the neighbor's dumpster, trash can that's too far on her side of the driveway, well, that's my call for that moment, which is not bad. But for what you do, you guys go to every single bad scene that's out there. What are they doing for you guys as EMTs?
So it's important to frame this in a start. There's multi levels to the resources that we have, right? So myself, I'm the mental health resource officer for both of my departments, for both of the EMS departments that I ride for. My responsibility is to have the information handy to be able to disseminate to my department, as well as develop plans and operations in order to help combat things like stress fatigue and all these other types of situations that could invoke a poor mental health scenario for somebody. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a licensed counselor, but my job is to be able to help you find additional resources and to be an additional resource for you if you just need somebody to talk to. But on top of that, it's also the training I do have is to help identify different key factors in a person's behavior, noticing deviations from their normal acts and all these types of different behaviors that they have, to be able to identify that they might be going through something that they're not talking about. And could just be as simple as, hey, hey, John, that was pretty crazy, huh? That was a pretty nutty call. You want to talk about it? Are you good? Good? Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, if you want to chat, listen, we'll jump into another way for a little while. We'll get away from everybody and we'll just chat. All right. And sometimes just that little spur, letting them know that somebody's there for them could be all they need. Could be that they need more. I could help to help find them some sort of resource to assist them. But we have multi-faceted levels of escalation, if you will, on how we can work to aid somebody's mental health, especially going through traumatic situations. I can vividly remember my first call actually kind of messed with me a little bit. And it was before I wasn't even on the department. My first call was for, I think I've mentioned this to you, was for a 1-year-old child that was unresponsive, not breathing. And I watched 2 EMTs that were throwing marshmallows at each other 4 seconds ago turn into 2 very different, and we flew to this scene. And when we got there, that was simply not the case. The child was having seizures. So the child was unresponsive for a little while, but he was breathing, and it ended up not being as nearly as bad as it could have been. But even that not being it could have been, that affected me. And I needed to talk to somebody, to talk to both the people on my tour that night. I talked to my captain about it, and he's, it's something that you have to handle these types of situations. And if not, you need to know how to alleviate the stress for yourself or find the resources. Like I said, you can't pour an empty cup. You need to make sure that you put your oxygen mask on first.
Yep.
So think of it as levels of escalation of what can do for somebody, whether it's talking to me, then maybe talking to the captain, then maybe talking to our centralized mental health coordinator, then maybe even escalating further than that.
Yeah.
You might have to take that party to the hospital, and they might have to get real help. But
Yep.
fortunately, it's nothing like that's ever come to it.
Yeah. Some of the best advice I give my guys is like, I'm like, listen, find somebody you trust. You don't have to talk to the chaplain. You don't have to talk to, the departments, people they throw down your throat. You don't have to talk to any of those people. If your best friend from college that lives across the country is the person that is, give me his phone number. Let me call him. I'll get him on the phone for you. You go chill. Take your crap off. Let's get all this weight off of you. The physical weight comes off, and then we can start to breathe and do things and think. I give them a task to do. So that, chaplain, you tell me if this is a strategy you use too, but I like to give them a task. I want to get their brain thinking about something. Hey, do me a favor, start taking all your gear off. And then they're not thinking about exactly what's good. They may be thinking about it a little bit, but you got to kind of split your decision making. So I'll tell them to do that. In the meantime, who's somebody you trust that you can just, I don't care if you don't want to unburden yourself, but I just want you to tell somebody this call happened, and I don't want them to have to hear it just from me. So that's a normal route that I'll take. No one's ever trained me to do that. I just kind of figured it out because I know it would help me, and that's kind of what I did. But
so one of the things I would chime in on that, you said a key word which is absolutely perfect: trust.
Yeah.
And yes, you ask them to talk to someone they trust. If they don't know, if you don't have as a chaplain, if I don't have a relationship with that person, I haven't built trust with them. It's simple as that. And if I haven't built trust, I am not the right guy for you to talk to. I mean, I can be, but I can help you get somebody that you do trust.
Yeah.
But when it comes to an officer, if it was an officer that was having an issue, for myself, I would not ask them to take their gear off, because the last thing that's going to happen, other than
not on scene.
Yeah, not on scene. I mean,
no, I don't do it on scene. I do it when we go away.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to OIS's officer involved shootings when they've had to give up their weapon, and how that you can just see how it affects officers. But all for the EMT side, so badge 502, one thing I would like to ask is, when you have someone that's brand new on the job, how about perfect scenario? She has been on the job all of 12 hours on her own. So she just got released, and her very first major call is someone played chicken with a train, and the train won. And yet
Usually do.
he was still responsive somewhat, and she was trying to provide CPR to him because she was told provide him CPR, even though it's not possible. So with that person, that's one of those moments, to me, my opinion, I would like to hear yours. My opinion is that's someone that the supervisor would need to immediately line up. You will talk to somebody, not you might talk to somebody.
So anything, at least as far as I can tell you with our department, anything that's, let's call it substantial, something like, say, the train, right? Anything like that is going to necessitate a mandatory debrief, right? So the call's we're going to go home. We're going to get either changed if we need to because of the propensity of the scene, if we got messy or what have you. And then we're immediately going to go into one of our classrooms. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about everything that happened. We're going to start at the very beginning, from the minute we got in the truck to the minute we got off the truck, and we're going to talk about it. And the debrief for these different scenarios we've had that. We've had train crashes. We've had 6-car MVAs. We've had bikes that have been hit by buses. And these are very dramatic scenes You have people screaming and crying and getting out of the cars and trying to interfere because they think they can help, but they can't help. And it's the whole scenario becomes an incredibly stressful situation rather than just the actual act of you trying to provide care for that person. So when we debrief, we talk about the totality of the incident. And if we determine at that point that maybe somebody needs to have a conversation with somebody, either not even necessarily higher than us, just that isn't up, that oftentimes that just helps. Having just speaking to somebody from the outside, it's huge. And then they get an outside perspective and can talk to that's completely non-biased. And it's wonderful to just be able to have somebody that can talk to you, that can listen to you. Sometimes you don't even need an answer. You just need to say what's in your mind. And that's massive. That's a massive help. But yeah, we start everything with a debrief, and then from there we can escalate if we need to.
Yeah. And Banning had sent me this page that we've talked about before on here. Yep. I want you guys to go check out bouldercrest.org. This is a great post-traumatic group program that you guys can get into. Banning, I'll let you talk a little bit on it real quick.
It's hard to put it in words. There's a couple videos on there that describe, and they do for military and first responders. There's a 6 minute, 55 second video. It's probably a little bit too long for us tonight. But I would encourage each and every one of you to go to their page and take a look at it. Even if you just have a first responder as a friend or a family member, to send it to them. They do some amazing things, and I would love to see people support them. They do. Once you go to the page and you see the videos and what they're doing, my words are irrelevant. You'll see exactly what they're all about.
Yeah. And then I want to share exactly what can happen. And what, again, guys, this is not a cop specific thing. This is firefighters, EMS, police, the chaplain, the families, the community, you guys that are out there. This is the type of things. This just happened. This happened in Alan's community. And I don't know if Alan wants to jump on to talk about it. But I'm going to share a photo with you guys, and I want you to kind of understand what we're talking about tonight. So let me share this. This just happened. So Alan, give us a little brief overview of what we're looking at here.
So it's actually about an hour down the road from me, but this is a local community that lost a brother and sister tonight in a train crash. They're both in high school. You can see that
brother and sister.
And it was, it came into the fire department as a major fire. So the what's seen on TV and the news is a big black cloud of smoke. So things are not good. And so not only do we need to be thinking about this family and those type of things, but all the first responders that respond to this, they have to go home to their loved ones at the end of the night. And there's people don't understand some of the things. Just talking about it, it's really hard right now. But, they have to relive all of this and they have to deal with it. But they can't deal with that until the moment's right. And they have to put on that face and keep doing the job and all of those types of things. So, let's keep the families in Clyde, Texas, close to our heart tonight. But Chaplain and everybody else on here, these are some of the things that it's gut wrenching, and as bad as it is, you also have to departmentalize yourself and be able to get through the incident and keep working, because these smaller communities, you may know these people and you still have to deal with it. And so I guess what are some of the ways that you guys have figured out to get through that situation, those type of things?
I focus on tasks. What do I need to do next? What do I got to do next? What do I got to do next? What hasn't been done yet?
Checking the boxes.
Checking the boxes. I don't think about what it is I'm doing. I think about what I got to do. So I can deal with me afterwards. I just try to. The ADHD I have helps a lot. I promise you guys. I'm constantly like, all right, what I got to do? What I got to do? I don't get bogged down. it's worked so far in 20 years of my career. But Banning, you got anything?
No, and I just appreciate Chaplain Campbell friggin' blessing us with his presence tonight. And it's unfortunate in the job that we do, we see this all way too often. We're exposed to it day in and day out, and there has got to be an outlet. And the chaplains, the true ones out there that come to the rescue, helps on the scene, helps after the fact. I know so many, with Chaplain Campbell being one, and I love the fact that we actually got to meet in person down in Florida for an amazing event. It's awesome. And I want you to stay connected with us, and we would love to bring you on for a full show.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely want to get you on for a full one.
I would appreciate that, and I would love doing it. I would say this. I pray that God keeps each of you protected, surrounded by all of his legions of angels, and may all of your days be safe. Y'all take care.
Thanks for having us, Chaplain.
Thanks,
Amen,
brother.
Chaplain.
Thank you.
The Catholicism's coming out of me. So, all right, to our mods. That was a good first one. He hit us up with a two-parter, so he went a little longer. But I'm not going to tell the chaplain he's got to get
You
off.
gave us the old left-right.
Yeah, he did. Chaplain hit us with that two-piece. He hit us with that two-piece. But yeah, to our mods, if you guys want to get the next one loaded up for us while we talk and kind of debrief a little bit like that. That had a lot more. That had a lot more engagement and acceptance from our community than I expected. Not that I'm thinking you guys are a bunch of heathens. That's not our typical flow. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how that was going to be received. I was like, well, screw it. Let's go. Let's see how it goes. And then it turns out to be one of the things you guys like. Uncle Fatty said, namaste.
Namaste.
I like it. So no, Chap did great. And glad he jumped on, and we'll get him for a full episode. And we'll do it how we've been doing our lives when we do our full podcast. I've switched doing podcasts pretty much to live every time. So normally what we'll do, if you guys want to catch our live podcast, it's an interview, and then we open it up to some questions at the end. So you're going to hear us talking. You're going to be chiming in, saying a bunch of noise.
I'm going to be on that podcast one day.
Yeah, I know, one day. I know. I can't believe it. That's the thing, is the people you can get at any time. Like you never fucking get it done.
We got to fly him down here and do a nice podcast with him.
Yeah, do one in studio with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Good. Can I get table? Because no.
And you can wear a helmet too if you want. I mean,
can I wear the Star Wars helmet?
Star Wars helmet, yeah, Stormtrooper, whatever you want.
No, I've never seen a single Star Wars.
Shut the front door.
I take that back. You cannot come out here and be on the podcast.
Mitch,
Steph saw all of them during the pandemic. She stayed when she was home. She watched single, from start to finish, the whole series, the Mandalorian. Watched all of it. I'm still completely in the dark.
Oh God!
Oh no!
God.
Oh my goodness,
Lord!
We're gonna have to set the bar pretty high here, guys.
Okay, hold on. Before we get going, whoa. Listen, Mr. Billfold, you are not going for 4 hours straight. I know this man. You let him get going, and you can't stop. He's the juggernaut when it comes to talking.
That's correct.
First, you don't have the right shirt on.
I'm not putting on my retro rifle tonight.
I'd like to thank Duck Dynasty for being on the show tonight. So I
wish I had that Duck Dynasty money.
Right. You ain't lying for sure. So Mr. Billfold, before we get going, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that this man has been instrumental to the success of Two Cops, One Donut. One, because he pushes back. And he doesn't just accept answers that we put out there. He challenges us, and he makes us think, and he makes us talk, and he makes us understand different perspectives. So thank you for that, sir. Two, he's been doing some things behind the scenes to help us get ideas and to push things out there in a different way. And I think that's where we differ from any other law enforcement based content, is we truly listen to our community. I'm telling you, and I hope Mr. Billfold backs us up on this, is that we're not just placating you. If you give us ideas and stuff, because this man did not like us when we first started. I can promise you that he did not like us.
I did not.
And he let
jury's still out whether it does or not.
I know, and he let us know this is the ultimate mold troll movie pulled. Yeah, he's like, I got on here and he's gonna start dropping N-bombs on us. No, don't do that.
Stop it.
Yeah, but no. So this is the epitome. Mr. Billfold, the example that for me of what I wanted to accomplish with this podcast and in the platform that we have. I wanted people that didn't like us to come to the table, challenge us, and at least meet us on common ground. And he's done that and more. And so thank you very much, sir. But
my pleasure.
Without further ado, sir, go ahead and introduce yourself and ask us the question you want to ask us tonight.
All right. Well, everybody probably knows who I am, but if not, Mr. Billfold or JJ or Bud, whatever you like, it's fine. Eric is correct. I came to the live stream because of Matt Thornton, and I pushed back real hard on Eric especially, and he took it like a man. And I'm all for people who take it. You know what I'm saying? I'll eat a punch and give a punch. A lot of times, people in the law enforcement community don't like to take the punch. Something I heard a long time ago is if you're going to argue with somebody and it's a good faith argument, that's their reality. And if your plan is to break it, be kind, because breaking someone's reality hurts. And that's what I try to do, whether it's in the comments or in the chat with you guys. And I really appreciate all the people in the community too, because y'all are one of the reasons why I stick around. But I encourage everybody else to be respectful and push back as well. I'm never going to stop doing that. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the law enforcement culture. Probably more so than some of the folks here would want to see. But like I said, my reality and their reality is different.
It is.
I take one thing that one of my favorite guests y'all have besides that dreamy Von Clean is
I knew
is Officer George Lopez. I really enjoy him, and I really respect the things that he's done. And I want everybody here to talk to somebody that's outside of their group. It's really polarized. I'm pretty happy with myself because I'm well hated now by both sides of this argument.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, because as soon as I defend a police officer that's in the right, or point out somebody that's a cop hater, point out where their logic is broken and busted like a can of biscuits, I'm a bootlicker. But at the same time, whenever I push back against something like QI or things like or case law, I'm a cop hater. So as long as I can piss off everybody equally, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. What's up, Rogue?
I know he needs to jump on. Get in line, Rogue. After a bit, Mr. Bill. Let's get you on.
Get in line, Rogue. I love hearing you, man. I was just on your channel yesterday, going through some stuff. As a matter of fact, what I wanted to talk about tonight is just fortuitous the timing. We just had, we talked about Barnes versus Felix.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Well, Barnes versus Felix just got quoted by a federal judge in Florida in a case where they had I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Southern Draw Law covered it well. And
he's awesome.
Hats off to James White. He's the man. If you're not subscribed, you definitely should after you subscribe to Two Cops, One Donut and Badge 502. Got to give Badge 502 the thumbs up. All the butt plug vids that he gives me, I just owe something. I owe a shout out to him because what is it that he does?
Yeah.
I do it now, but I'm sitting here in 3 frames per second.
For some reason, he is lagging so bad tonight. I don't get it. Even Alan and Mr. Billfold is coming through perfectly clean. So it's a you problem.
If I turn my head back in my own ear.
You might want to check your USB ports for some of those butt plugs, man. That might be
it,
jamming you out. But
Right.
recent,
Something
I don't know
smells
if everybody's familiar with it, but there was a case from 2022 down in Osceola County, Florida, where there was 28 sheriff's deputies, a lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and 25 deputies doing exercises, training exercises. And they noticed a suspicious vehicle because it had the license plates covered. And 2 of the guys got out. I think there was a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old in the car, and 2 19-year-olds went into Target, and they these deputies, having noticed them, followed them through the Target. They shoplifted a pack of Pokemon cards and a pizza, and then they let these kids get back into their car, did a really horrible half-assed job of trying to block them in, and then when those kids tried to move, they dumped, I think, 32 rounds into them, killed 2 of the kids, and that case has been going on. And of course, those officers requested qualified immunity, and probably before Barnes Felix might have gotten it, but this judge, and I put a link in the live chat with live stream chat on Discord for Marines Blood to check out, of this recent order. And what this judge did under Barnes v. Felix, which is, from what I don't know of any, this just happened here in January. So this is probably the first federal court to actually quote Barnes v. Felix. But it brought about the totality of circumstances, because these officers, even though they were not indicted for anything, had first asserted qualified immunity for this. And this judge basically, I think James White from Southern Draw Law called it a bench slap. He basically said, because he said, no, you are not getting any qualified immunity for this, because you basically you have probable cause or you don't, right? So these officers, and even one of them was said in a deposition, well, you'd have to be stupid if you think a car covering their license plate isn't going to run on you. Well, you guys let 2 people that you witnessed commit a crime, commit shoplifting, get back in their vehicle, and then fired on them when you could have easily stopped them ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? So you either it wasn't about officer safety, and it wasn't about public safety. These guys were amped up out there doing a training exercise, which they probably needed to continue, because it was a really poor. If you check out the Southern Draw Law, he has.
The video where they all swarmed the vehicle, a bunch of them, like 20 of them?
It was 28 of them.
Damn.
And,
bro, it was like a clown car just getting filled. Like, you obviously see cops coming out of everywhere.
Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly what ended up, the judge said, because of Barnes v. Felix, right? Instead of the moment of threat doctrine, which is what most cops who are going to get involved in these use of force are going to say, hey, he was pulling his car forward, you know. Well, for one, they didn't block him in right, but the judge said, no, the totality of the circumstances has to be looked at in this case. And you guys allowed these 2 people to get back into a vehicle when you could have just detained them before they got in the vehicle. You had 25 deputies, 2 sergeants, and a lieutenant on scene. So y'all could have easily handled this situation, but you waited till you let them get back in the vehicle. And then you created this circumstance where you could just prove yourself right, you know, and shoot these. I don't want to call them kids, but they're kids to me because they're younger than my kids are.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, 17, 19, 19, and 20. So they're kids. They stole Pokemon and pizza. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I only wanted to bring it up because Barnes v. Felix, we had considerable discussion, I believe, in the past about, okay, maybe this is going to be a good thing. You know, this is something that can move the ball forward and get off of this moment of threat doctrine that was really a big issue as far as not only holding cops accountable, but making the community trust in policing as well. But it didn't take very long. I think Barnes v. Felix was back in May, and here we are in January 2026. Yeah. And it's actually been quoted.
Yeah. So I think this is where the argument goes back and forth. I think the moment of threat was created in a way because sometimes you do get put in a position where you're like, holy shit, this isn't how I intended this to start. And you do something that you wouldn't normally have done given more time. And then vice versa. Sometimes you get a call, and when you look at, oh, this just started because it was a traffic ticket or a no blinker on a turn, and then all of a sudden you're shooting somebody. And
Yeah.
that moment of threat, you know, was like, it had nothing to do with the blinker. That was just, I was just pulling them over to let them know. And all of a sudden they pull out a gun and I'm shooting them, or you know,
Yeah.
that's extreme, but that's what I'm saying is,
No, I agree with you on that, Eric. I think that, you know, and one of the arguments we get to about QI in general, and we're not getting into that, I promised Marines Blood I wouldn't do that. But
good man.
yeah, but what ends up happening is that we weren't looking at the totality of circumstances. And the moment of threat doctrine, the reason why it had to be fixed in Barnes v. Felix, I think goes to speak to a lot of the doctrines like QI or open fields doctrine that the Supreme Court comes up with fail because they're not really followed by the district courts under them. The language is often vague and hard for anybody. And as Von Kleem, the great force scientist, will tell you, you know, it's unfair
Wizard.
yeah, he's a sorcerer of force science. It's unfair to give police officers standards that you can't articulate and then tell them that they were supposed to have a reasonable understanding of it. My argument with you about, well, like moment of threat in QI in general is that I fully believe, and has been proven by all statistics that anybody can show, is that cops are well protected by the reasonableness standard of the Fourth Amendment. You know, I mean, that's
Yes.
why you don't have to use it. That's why you see qualified immunity brought up, like in this case we just mentioned, where where it was denied because of Barnes v. Felix, where they're saying, look, that's not reasonable. The moment of threat doctrine had to be snapped and broken off, because if you overcorrect on the side of law enforcement, you're just going to set up for more abuse, because the totality of circumstances in this case in Osceola County, Florida, was that you followed two deputies followed these teenagers through the store, followed them out to the parking lot.
You could have engaged and stopped them before.
You either have probable cause or you don't.
Right.
These cops wanted to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
You know,
basically what they were doing, and Banning, you can jump on this, Badge 502. I mean, maybe you've seen it too. I'm not going to discount you on this, sir. But, you know, a lot of times we want to see the highest offense we can get. And we want to, oh, maybe the car they're going to go back to is stolen as well. And so that's kind of how we'll play it. You know, knowing, this comes with experience, but knowing I know I'm going to figure out what car they came in. Like, that's not going to be a problem. Versus a younger officer may be like, well, maybe they're going back to a stolen car. We'll let them get to that, and there'll be guns and dope inside. And they're trying to get this big, huge thing that it's not. So I understand in the mind of a cop why maybe they do that. I just don't agree with it. I am of the opinion of just get it. If you got it, grab it. Let's get that over with. And maybe you can find out some more stuff later, but maybe you can't. But,
I want to have Bannon. I want Bannon to say his thing, but in this real quick on that point, that was where
real quick with you.
Yes, there is. The judge, the reason he jumped on this is because they had 25 officers on scene, and they already knew which car. Not only did they see the car when it first pulled in with its tag covered, but they watched it move to another position in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So you had plenty of time for those officers to do that. So given that benefit of the doubt that you're saying, I can respect that, even if I disagree somewhat, like you disagree with the theory of it. But in this case, it was so egregious. They had 28 officers, lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and 25 deputies.
Yeah.
They could have easily hemmed in the kids that were in the car and the ones coming out. They didn't.
Yep.
Why would you let somebody that's committing a crime that you believe is going to flee, like that deputy said, why would you let them get back in a car that could have a weapon in it? I mean, it's just, you cannot bang the officer safety drum and then do things that are not safe for the community or officers.
Yeah. And
Go
this
ahead,
is
Bannon.
where,
I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah. And sorry, Ben, I'm going to step on you real quick because I want to make this point too. If you're a cop and you're listening to that, and you're like, oh, fuck that. Fuck, no, but fuck you. Like, you're the problem. Like, you had 28 fucking cops there. You're the problem. You had 28 cops. If you're backing the blue just to blow the blue, like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not for that. 28 cops. You knew who it was. You knew the vehicles. While they're split the group in half. Hey, real quick, Badge, I know you got a bigger brain than me and Banning. What's 28 divided by 2? So like
28 divided by 2 is 14.
okay, yeah. So you got 14 cops. Send 14 cops to the kids stealing, and put 14 cops to the guys that are out in the car waiting, because they're not gonna leave their. Shut up, Banning. I can't math. That's why I became a cop.
I want to see your reports.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for.
What's his report card that you
Yeah. Autocorrect is my friend. Okay. Anyway. But my point being is, this is where I feel that Barnes v. Felix really dropped the ball. Is we should have done the moment of threat argument, or not moment of threat. The
officer created exigency.
Thank you. That's what I was going for. Officer created exigency. We should have addressed it. We ignored it. We just said, we're not going to talk about that.
They couldn't do it. In fairness, I'm always fair to you cops. I'll be fair to the Supreme Court, which I hate to do because the Supreme Court is the bane of my existence with the things that they do. It normally takes 75 years for them to unscrew something that they've screwed, but it wasn't brought up as factually at the lower court stage for them to be able to do it. So they're basically saying somebody else needs, another case is going to have to come up that where it's been pled this way so that we can do it. So as much as I don't want to give them credit, that's the reason why they refuse to speak on that. Not because they didn't think it was a problem, but it has to be framed just right for the Supreme Court to be able to actually do anything about it.
Yeah, agreed. I think moment of exigency is something that police need to deal with. We've already got at least in just regular old municipal cop world, we've got a pretty good standard when it comes to shooting and moving vehicles and getting in front of them and all that stuff, which obviously ICE does not, but that's neither here nor there. We're not going to go into that. Banning, the floor is yours, sir.
I'm going to keep this short. When you have a crime in your presence or view, you stop it now.
Yeah.
You stop it now. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, but there's no reason to extend that out to a parking lot to where there may be more people. We want to stop the crime now, period. You stop it and you get what you get. We are not a statistically driven panel. You get what you get right then and there. And if you stop something, great. If not, great. But your crime that you have in your presence or view is what you have to identify and stop. Anything else, I'm speaking on many, many years of experience, can lead to something else. It can lead to guns. It can lead. And that's what we prevent. That's what we took an oath to prevent. You've got to stop it right then and there. And if you get something, great. If you got enough to write paper to get into a vehicle, write paper to get into a vehicle. But if you don't, it's on to the next. And I don't know why the hell we've got so many cops. I understand they're in a training thing, but I was really big on not wagoning the officers around people. You take what it takes to get the job done, and then you go on to the next. And I'll stop there.
Oh, kitty cat in the background there. In this particular call, I do remember seeing the video, and everyone was like, "How the fuck does that happen? How do you allow this part?" But the more I find out about it, like Mr. Billfold said, like they had him on view. They knew the car that they were going to go to. Like you had too many factors. This should have never been allowed to happen. You basically created your own exigency, in my opinion. And that's not satisfactory. I'm not good with that. I don't like how it turned out. And don't get me wrong. The bad guys have their own sins to atone to on that. But does that mean it needs to cost you your life? Not necessarily, but at the same time, you shouldn't be driving your car away surrounded by 28 cops. So I don't want people to come across and say that we're not being fair. It's just I can only control my bubble. My bubble's cops, so I can talk at cops. The bad guys already have their own thing.
I think one thing I would like for everybody to be fair with. I'm sorry, 502. You're lagging so hard. I can't tell if your mouth is moving or not. It's
it's bad. I'm like at 3-4 frames per second.
That's
like it's
crazy.
Nutty.
You can't.
If you look at the candle in the background, it almost doesn't. Oh
man, you own that. You must have borrowed Banning's AOL disc.
Seriously, I'm on that 28.
Right, 28.
But one thing I'd like to say before the time is up, though, speaking to the people listening or watching, is we need to be more fair toward the criminals. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like this, I posted a Ted Lasso quote in the Discord the other day,
My top
And,
5 favorite shows.
Yeah, and it's like I hope all of us or none of us are judged by the weakest and worst of our moments, but what we do with any second chance that we're given. To paraphrase that. Um, I think that what I've seen with the recent shootings and everything, not to get into it, but what I've seen is a lot of people are absolutely they would support a cop shooting you if you jaywalked. If you got lippy with the officer because he asked for your ID or for whatever happened, I think that there's not enough grace going around. We either have a system that is of law and order or we don't. And I think that we need to be holding police to a higher standard and a higher account. I was watching some Von Clean today. Don't tell him, but I was watching some of his stuff today, and he made a good point about what Force Science talks about. They don't like corrupt or unjust police accountability, but they want honest police accountability. And I think we need to stop giving so much leverage to police to where, if somebody's tail light was out and they decided to run from you, don't chase them down and shoot them through the window. Y'all have enough. You guys, and Eric, you're the real time crime center man of the hour, watching girls take a shower.
Not true.
But you know damn well that with the state of technology and the way that it is today, you guys can track anything anywhere. I mean, it's really unless you're a highly trained special operative, it's really hard to go 10 blocks in any major metropolitan area without somebody knowing everywhere that you are.
100%.
So I think that what we have to start doing is holding these officers more accountable. If you're somebody out there who's not like me and doesn't push back on police, at least come to the middle of this gap a little bit by demanding some higher standards and higher accountability for the totality of circumstances. Okay, these kids stole pizza. These kids stole Pokemon cards. Like I often say, they should have been arrested for this.
Yeah.
They should have had a chance to have the justice system work for them, not put in a position where they were allowed to get back before. That's why I wanted to bring up Barnes v. Felix. Before that moment of threat was taken away, courts really were not allowed to consider the totality of circumstances in this case. Once that car started, even though if you watch the Southern Drawl video, you'll see that they did the most piss poor job of. I blocked people in a parking lot better than these cops did. So you gave them enough room to pull around they moved a couple feet and then they busted down on, I think it was 32 shots. So I really think that we need to be more fair to the criminals. Let's see the old, if you watch the Westerns, which I love Westerns, nobody cheats the hangman in my town, even though I might want to shoot you dead because you're a rat bastard, it's not my job. It's the hangman's job, and the hangman's got to eat too.
Yeah.
Let's get these people to court. Let's not be so quick to justify any police use of force with play stupid games, win stupid prizes, FAFO, which I'm seeing all the time.
That's so overused. I know.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Did you see that Von Kleeman's commenting right now? Just to let you know, Mr. Bill.
No, I didn't. Is my man over there?
There he is.
Where's Von at? I don't see him in the YouTube. Oh, there he is. Yeah. There's Von Clean. No, I watched Von Clean totally pimp slapped a prosecutor in that Sure case. I watched that today just for fun because I disagree with Von on several things, but I think it's because we're just culturally standing apart. But I respect the shit out of him because he's not rude, he's not disrespectful. And that's the kind of person I can mess with. If I had I don't really have any friends because how I am, but I can deal with people who have a good faith disagreement with me. One thing that I'm absolutely sure of about Von and what he does is that he cares about fairness. I'm pretty sure that I could probably convince all you guys against QI if we sat down in a room over maybe a beer or a cup of coffee and really laid it out without a way that felt being put on the spot. That be it, and I'm not afraid to have that fight. Just like I feel like I'll get out there and I'd roll with Eric. Eric would probably whoop my ass in a roll, but I'd give him the best business I could give him with my old bones. And that's the way I feel about, Vaughn. I appreciate Vaughn speaking out for me on that regard. But Vaughn is what he does is really important. I think that we have to have, we have to have realistic expectations, human expectations. I saw that guy giving him hell about using the word superhuman. I thought that guy was such a nerd for trying to hang Vaughn up. But Vaughn could not be hung up because he believes in what he says, and he's not saying it from a point of aggrandizing himself. He honestly, I believe, genuinely believes in that stuff. And that's the reason I get on here and stay on it like I do. I honestly believe that I'm right, but I'm not going to hate you or call you names or do anything like that because we disagree, especially if I feel that you're a good person, and that you entered into it meaning well. And that's the reason I support the channel. I think that's the reason why a lot of the folks in the chat, and I'm sorry if y'all are saying something to me and I'm not reading it. I've been in the restream, so not looking at it, but I really appreciate that this community gives us the chance to come on, Tim. A beer.
I had to put it up there.
Well, my grandma said the only thing you can do with beer is pour it back in the other end of a horse. But I am willing to have one or two with certain people. But I believe that we all have different backgrounds and everything. And I know there may be some atheists or agnostic. I don't speak about what my beliefs may or may not be. But I do believe in God, and I do believe that we're all here for a reason. And if we can come together in the face of all these things that we disagree about, that's one of the highest ways that you can honor God. And I appreciate the growth that the channel's given me, because I was in a very low point, just because I see the same things that maybe you guys don't see. And a lot of the guys in our chat right now, Wade, Freeman, Constitutional Country Girl, Shotguns and Tats, Tim, all of us, we see so much that it bogs down on us because we don't have the cultural backing that you guys do as in the blue. Because you guys could screw the pooch loyally and you'll have 100,000 people out there backing whatever you did because you wear a badge. We're kind of on the outside, but this community made me feel like there are people listening. There is a reason to not only stay up to date on this stuff, but to debate it. I like to find out whether my arguments make a lick of sense or not. And the best way to do something like that is to, like when I got on with Vaughn, that dreamy man Vaughn, because I disagreed with him, but he made some good points, and he made me look at things in a way that I had not before. I had not looked into use of force and expectations before. I don't care enough about cop stuff to care. Like, I watched Banning's interview he just did on police recruiting today, and I don't really give a shit about police recruiting, so it was kind of hard to watch. But I watched it because it was, you know what I'm saying? I
Boring
don't,
bitch.
well, it's just because I don't give two squirts of panther piss about retention for police, and all that and stuff like that. But I watched it because it was Banning. But I learned things that I'm not going to be otherwise exposed to. And I hope if anybody here has anything that they can take from this community, join us on Discord, because it's always hopping with somebody sharing something. And participate in the live streams. You too could find yourself in here partying with these guys. Craig gave some. Craig, awesome. Good job, Craig.
First one tonight, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Hey guys, seriously, if you like what we're doing, this is, to me, tonight is the night for me that has been worth the first time for me asking for your hard-earned money. This is the first time I've ever officially, I'm like, you know what? Like, this is the first time I feel like we deserve something because we are opening the doors in a different way that nobody's done before.
Yeah. And I really want to encourage all of our folks in the Discord to feel free to communicate with me more. Harrison and I talk in Discord all the time. We're like little bosom buddies over there.
He's sick tonight. He couldn't make it.
I have to harass him about that. Tell him to take his vitamins and say his prayers like a good Hulkamaniac. But
he said Hulkamaniac. It's awesome.
Yeah, but please engage, because I know not everybody's going to get on here. Eric and I talked. I have no problem running my suck. That's just something I've never had a problem doing. And talk to me. Bring your stuff up to me. If you have something that you want to, oh man, I'll drink my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Mr. Billfold, Marine Bloods didn't get another one.
Shame on him. But I really, if y'all want to bring something up to Eric or the guy, something that you feel strongly about, and you don't feel like getting on here, bring it up to me in Discord. You know, and
I promise you guys, I'm open.
I'll talk if you guys. I'll talk for all you guys who can't, because not everybody's built for the same thing. Some people are the tires, some people are the steering wheel. You know what I mean? There's no shame in not being articulate. There's no shame in being shy, but the conversation still need to happen. So I'll be the spirit animal for all you auditors and accountability people. If y'all want somebody to bang heads with these dusty, crusty jokers, I'll do that for you. I have no problem getting on here anytime Eric or Banning want me to.
Yep. Shout out to Von Cleem. He became a member, baby.
Hot damn. Woo-wee.
He's dropping that Red Bull money.
He gives him wings.
I love you, brother.
I love Vaughn. Yeah, I wasn't trying to blow too much smoke up Vaughn's butt, but I really do appreciate him, because it's like I haven't had to be in a physical altercation with somebody in a long time. So sparring with Vaughn is about as close as I've gotten to giving and taking.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. And like I said, I think we all need to respect each other. You know,
yeah.
There's been people get on the stream before and they attack Vaughn, and I shut that shit down immediately. Like, no, you're not going to besmirch his integrity. I don't give a shit if he's wrong, because he is, but you're not going to just talk shit about him. I don't let people talk shit about any of you guys either. I think what did that one guy call me, Eric? The attack dog? I was your attack dog.
Attack dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2 cops, 1 donut, let their attack dog off.
I'm not an attack dog, but I bite. You know what I'm talking about? Right. I don't bark at people too much. You know, I don't sell wolf tickets to anyone. But I think that, you know, what we've done here is fabulous. I love Marines Blood and Tim for what they do behind the scenes as well. You don't see this last time I talked to Izzo on the phone and called his show, he said, "Fuck you. I don't need intelligent people calling my line," and then ended the call. So I think Freeman and Harrison were watching last time I talked to him.
That's funny. Yeah. Izzo, he wants the crazies.
Yeah, it was fun. Steve Ladner's his favorite person. That's the only time I get to talk to Steve Ladner. He doesn't come back here much, but I talked to Steve over on Izzo's stream.
I had to ban him. I've only personally banned, I think, 2 people.
Yeah,
and I think
he was one of them. And then
Wade, number 3.
I want to say to Wade Lucero, he said, I talked to my friend Denver Metro Audits, and he said you reached out to him to try to stick up for you.
That was me.
I tried to get the dude to come on here, and then because I think he went after me. Like he said he liked Matt Thornton, but he didn't like what I was doing. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that was me. I reached out. Hey Wade, that was me. I reached out to DMA and had that conversation with him, and he said he'd be willing to, you know, he wanted to hear an outline of what would go on. So I think a lot of what his problem was with that, the way he explained it to me, was that he was afraid it would be a gotcha moment. You know, he's got a lot of stuff with lawsuits going on right now.
Yeah.
With you have the frauditor community now who hates all auditors, and they act like they're the worst people ever.
Well, that's what I don't get.
So.
We've got a long history of being one of the few cop channels that back auditors. I don't think I've ever once went at an auditor. I think I've always backed them up.
Yeah.
There's some that I don't like their tactics, but not liking something has nothing to do with if it's, you know, constitutional right.
Yeah. Yep. I'd still like to see that happen. I'd still like to see him on. So, you know, and that door of conversation is definitely open, but, you know, I don't want him to ever feel like somebody's going to try to bring him on here just to ambush him, because that's not how I get down. And if y'all did that, I'd call you out for it on your own stream. I wouldn't have a problem doing that.
No problem.
But I know you wouldn't do it, but, yeah, I think that a lot of the people in the auditing community appreciate you, from what I've noticed. I mean, I don't speak for all of them, because I'm definitely not an auditor. I've done one audit. You can see it wasn't even an audit. It was me flirting with the postmaster, because she was a very nice looking lady. Y'all can see that. Y'all can see that on my channel. But I don't consider myself an auditor, but I do love what auditors do, and I like. Banning knows this, and this is why I love Banning so much. we swore an oath to the Constitution, and it meant something. Becoming a Marine meant something. It was the proudest thing that I'd ever done. And even though I have a lot of problems with the way I found out the fleet was and the way that higher ups do, I'll never forget what it means to believe in the guy next to you and, you know, and take the Constitution seriously. And that means I have to stand up for the people I do not agree with. As long as what you're doing is legal, I didn't sign that oath so that the squadron I was at could order $492 wrenches. You know, I didn't sign it for any of those bad reasons. I signed it to piss off my father because he was an Army Ranger and so was his dad. So they didn't want a Marine in the family. But other than that, I want to stick up for the people who I don't agree with. We're all here together, and we're far more alike than we are different. That is one thing I've learned. And I want everybody to feel comfortable here.
Most of the time I tell people if we had a beer and talked about this, we would not be the way we talk online. Guaranteed.
And Eric, let me give Badge 502 just 2 seconds. He's got a cut for family stuff, man.
Yeah, I know you guys are chatting in the private chat. It won't let me open it for some reason, so I can't.
Well,
see
we have it situated like that because we're talking about.
Fair. No worries.
Badge,
all yours, sir.
People find you.
Oh, people can find me at badge502.com or badge502 across all my platforms. You can also find me in slow motion on any of my live streams, apparently. If you need me, I'll be over here with my Android style showing 1 pixel every 30 seconds.
I know. I'm sorry, you guys, tonight. I don't know what it is. His connection just is not coming through. Please, on behalf of 2 Cops, 1 Donut, if you guys are not following Badge 502, please find him.
502? Come up with a shirt that says "I blame the butt plug" and have your connection broken. I bet you we could sell 1,000 of those shirts.
There you go. Limited edition.
I'll send it to the merch store immediately.
All right, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Guys, I love you. Be kind. Thank you. Love you, boys.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Love you, sir.
Later.
So to our mods, for our mods on there, if we got anybody else in the mix, please get them ready. Mr. Billfold, sir, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your stuff and your service, sir. Appreciate you. And if anybody guys anything to say to Mr. Billfold, put it in the chat. I'm sure he'll still be on here.
Yeah, and everybody come to the Discord. If you want to, I posted links in the live stream chat, and I'll also share it in general or news. Take a look at this this federal decision by this judge on Barnes v. Felix in this case. We cannot expect the police to be more informed than we are, because we're the ones who are going to suffer if they don't. So don't be lazy. Get off your ass and learn something, and you can get back to doom scrolling cat stuff. Believe me, I want to watch cats and butt plug videos just like everybody else on 502's channel. But we have to take the time to learn this stuff. Okay.
Love you, brother. Thank you.
Love you, Mr. Bilbo. Thanks.
In the Middle East.
Shit. Love it. He's trying to figure out how to log off.
Alan, show me your nipple.
All right, I got you, Mr. Billfold. Oh shit, too funny.
That's great.
Okay, I think we had one person in line. I know I told our mods that I want to get Rogue Nation. If Rogue Nation's listening, yes, sir. If you want to jump on tonight, I before we get to any of the videos, this is about the community, and I want the community to jump on and talk what they got to talk. And I think we've been doing a good job so far. I'm not gonna lie. I knew Mr. Billfold would always be colorful and fun. So I have no problem with him jumping on, but the chaplain thing surprised me. Not me personally, because I'm down. I like talking to chaplains. I think they're fun. I've
been connected to him for God, years now, and then neither one of us knew that we were both going to be down in the, let's just call it the West Palm Beach area, going to an event, and to have, God, he probably knows better than I do. It was probably an hour and a half uninterrupted. He and I got to talk, and it was needed for me, and I think it was needed for him too. But we've had a lot of offline conversations up until that point, and both of us just to run into each other down there was amazing. And absolutely, let's bring him on for I want to get a whole friggin' show.
Yeah, agreed. I want to get him on for a full one. Rogue Nation audits I want to get for a full one. Who'd we get? Rogue Nation's on. Hell yeah.
Bring them in.
I thought I had it on there. There we go.
Get
What's
those-
up, brother?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Perfect. Sorry it's a little dark. I'm outside the smoke. I don't smoke in the house, so.
No worries. First and foremost, love what our auditors are doing out there. I will say, as a cop who's a constitutionalist, fully support. Doesn't matter if you do it a way I like or a way I don't like. Fully support the way people go out and do audits on cops. I love the checks and balances. I think we should always be testing our police officers to make sure they're doing their job, upholding their oath. And two, it's, I swore an oath 2 times. Banning did too. Alan has, you weren't military, right, Alan?
No.
Okay.
Wasn't
So Alan
military.
has once, and we are trying to be the channel that, kind of defends from the other side. I don't like calling them sides, but if we're going to be realistic, there is 2 sides, and I'm trying to bridge that gap and make it all one. I'm just trying to make it American. If I'm going to be honest, that's what I want to do, and I really like what you guys do.
Yeah, well, I want to say that just opening up with an open mind to a conversation that we might not know everything, right? That's the starting point for understanding and change. We don't get changed by going into echo chambers and having people tell us our shitty ideals are good, right? Just because they voted for the same president or go to the same church or on the same bowling team. So I think what you guys are doing is important. That's why I spend my time, which is important, important to me, supporting you guys, because I think it's important. So, yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
why
that.
I jumped on it. Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys even having a conversation where it doesn't begin with, these guys are antagonists and they're just doing it, And granted, some of them are. I mean, let's be real. Just like, not all Catholic, priests are good people, And,
Right.
there's good and bad in everything that we do. And to generalize, it's just a terrible way to go through life in any aspect, right? So now, granted, I know that a lot of people's misconceptions about what auditors do is due to the fact that, the government never taught us exactly what our freedoms were and, how to interact with them, right? Because it would be stupid for the government to teach us how to watch them, right? Because they don't want to be watched.
They want
right?
you to have the
So-
illusion of that freedom. They don't want you to be educated
right.
on it.
That's right. They want you to be like, you know what? The government is going to watch over the government. And for a lot of people that works, right? Because we go to public school and it's beaten in our head that this is the government for us, by us, just like FUBU. And, we get this feeling of, you could say nationalism or whatever else, this pride that, that these guys are in there and they're working for us, when that's never, ever been the case. It's never been the case. And for people that don't accept that story and actually dig a little deeper, it doesn't take much, right? You don't need to dig a 20-foot hole to find the truth, because these guys, spill it out in their books and, in their essays and stuff that they do, if you know where to look. And so, with them not understanding what the right to free press is, and I'll give you a breakdown real quick, but in 1774, the Continental Congress wrote a letter to the inhabitants of Quebec, and they were telling the inhabitants about all these great rights that our new country was going to have and what they were for and about. And they specifically said that the right to free press was the right to shame our public officials into just modes of behavior, right? Because back then, and even to this day, not a lot motivates a person except for damage to their reputation, right? Which would be public shaming. And when that occurs, then people will snap to and pay attention and make amends, I guess you could say. Like we all see it in the TV when somebody gets called out on the news and stuff. Next thing you know, they're printing a retraction or, I'm sorry, that was taken out of context. But if they're never called out for it, usually do they ever, call up on their own and say, gee, I was wrong and I'm sorry. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm responding to some people while they're chatting. What I want to get from you, Rogue, because you're OG. Like, I've learned so much from our community about auditors and the ones that they really wanted me to get on here. You're one of them. I would love to have you on for actual full podcast where we do a live. We talk about you, all your stuff you got going on, why you do what you do, where police are screwing up, where they're doing okay in your book, and where do we start fixing things. That's what I would love to do. And then afterwards, our live chat can ask you questions and do that. And we can link all your people up to what we're doing as well. So that's what I would like to do ultimately with you. And I know we've flirted with it in the chat several times because every time you jump on, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, he's on here. So, but for tonight, since we're having people jump on, and I know this should be you wanting to bring up a topic. So I'm going to let you bring up a topic or a question, whatever it is you want to do. But I specifically have one for you that I would like to know, sir, is in all of your auditing and stuff that you've seen, in your honest opinion, are cops improving? Does it seem the same? Are they getting worse? How do you feel that where are we tilting on that scale?
Here's the thing, the cops that are older are getting it. But the problem remains, and it's not just with cops, it's with public officials as well when I go out to do audits. And I tell people this on my channel, and I tell other auditors this, is that we're not going to be for a lack of content for the rest of our lives, right? Because every day the government hires more idiots. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right? And every day the government, some way or another, be it through code enforcement or, there's 100 different ways the government can screw a citizen over. And so every day I get new subscribers to my channels. They want to come and they want to see how they need to interact with their officials when they're approached. They want to know what the laws are. A lot of times people want to learn the law after they're already have broken it, or they've come to interact with it some way, whether it be with landlord-tenant law or something like that. And I tell people, there's three things that every adult uses every day of their life. It doesn't matter if you're in America, China, Russia, North Korea, it doesn't matter. You use your mind, you use your money, and you use the law, right? Those three things every adult on the planet uses every day without pause, right? And so in order to move through life, you better have more than just a passing understanding of those three topics, right? And law being one of them. It's never been a detriment for me to learn the law, right? Now there is instances where people learn something and they think they know more than they should, and that gets them into trouble. But if you remain cautious and you do the research that's diligent, and a good percentage of the time you're going to stay on the right side, right? Because I don't know if everybody knows this, but as a profession, lawyers, we put out more lawyers per year than any other profession, right? And so just that statistic alone tells you that these guys aren't rocket scientists, right? These guys ain't brain surgeons, right? Because they put out very few brain surgeons. So if these guys can get it, and I've seen plenty of stupid lawyers, then anybody can get it that applies themselves, right? But it takes application. It's not like these people doing these mail order businesses where you order the course, you read 2 pages of it, and say, that shit don't work. So
Yeah. I'm looking over at the chats. I want to read Ryan. Ryan said, I think it's clear that 1A auditors have definitely improved things, at least regarding police. I appreciate them. Hopefully the public will learn as well. And I think that's important to distinguish that oftentimes what I have found, at least where I'm at, the public tries to use police as pawns. And if the cops are trained properly, they see that. And that ain't an issue. But more oftentimes than not, they're not trained well enough. And we see these cops that are getting used as pawns. And people are weaponizing, using their emotional response because they don't like what you're doing and they don't know the Constitution as well. And this is where we really start to run into issues, is when people weaponize police, because all it takes is for one unhinged cop that doesn't understand, doesn't know because he has shit training, and comes in, and now we got a use of force. And who does that lay on? It lays on the cop for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking any liability away from the cop, but now a citizen just weaponizes the officer and they got nothing. There's no repercussion for that citizen.
It falls on both of them, actually. And when citizens conspire with the government to violate someone's rights, they can be held liable under a 1983 Act. And so if somebody, a private citizen, had called the law on me and their call had this officer violating my rights, I would definitely include them in the 1983 suit. Now, this has never happened to me, and I've never had to go to court over it, so I don't know what the outcome would be. And I'm definitely not a lawyer, nor do I offer legal advice. But I would think that would be a pathway to go forward with that. But and what you said, it's not just the officers, right? And when I said that the state hires more idiots every year, it's because the state puts out idiots every year, right? You go to the public school, 40% can not read, and there's no critical thinking classes, there's no psychology classes, there's no civics classes, there's I've homeschooled my kids their whole life. My oldest is 18. This is her last year. She'll be, going on. She doesn't want to go to college. She wants to do some other stuff, art and other stuff like that. My youngest is 13. But when we got pregnant, I said to myself, how did the great minds of the last 2,000 years, how did they learn, right? Because it wasn't public school. That's, only been around 130 years or so. And how did public school start? Who funded it? What were their goals? What were they trying to achieve? And Woodrow Wilson, the ex-president, who was also a college administrator, he had a speech that he gave to the New York Teachers Association in 1908. And in that speech, he said that the job of public education is not to educate everyone, right? Because they don't have enough time. He said that they can only educate a small minority. And the vast majority, by necessity, can only be educated enough to do menial tasks. And since 1908 and our public school system, you see that that's exactly how that played out. Now, public school was pushed by a group called the General Education Board back in the early 1900s, and that was a big receiver of donations from Rockefeller. Now, the first question that I thought of to try to critically think was, why is a gentleman whose business name, like in the business circles, he was known as John D. Rockefeller, right, because of his business tactics. Just ruthless, right, in the oil industry. John D. Rockefeller, well-known, ruthless guy. Why is he donating money to educate people to then challenge his heirs, right? Because when you think about it, when you educate people, now these people become a threat to your business, right, to your empire, to your children, your grandchildren, right? So why would a guy like that try to educate all these people? And he wasn't trying to educate him. He was just trying to educate him enough to come work in his oil refinery. That's it. He wasn't
Mhm.
looking to educate him in order to replace his grandson as the CEO of Standard Oil. By no means.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of people that invested and nurtured and brought about the public education system. So I told my wife right off the bat, I said, I'll live in a cardboard box before I send my child to the state to get quote unquote educated.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we've done. And yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I
As a
can't say it
person,
enough.
who I have a dual master's degree. And the only reason I have that is because the military paid for it. So if I didn't have to pay for it, I understand how the system works. It's a piece of paper. If that piece of paper gives me some sort of leverage over other people, that's what I'm going to use it for. I mean, why wouldn't I? In my profession, if I want to move up and I want to get advantages, you may not like the game, but sometimes you just got to play it, depending on the path that you're going to take. So for me, I did my path in education under the same thing that I'm already getting trained in, and that's policing. So my master's is criminology and criminal justice. Do you think I learned anything about criminology and criminal justice in college? I didn't. I learned little things here and there, but nothing worth that price tag that they put on it and the time that it takes to get it. I didn't learn shit from that. So I always laugh when I always laugh when I hear, or this department, they only hire cops with a bachelor's degree. And I'm like, some of the best cops I know are high school educated.
Yep.
I mean, look at Banning.
100%.
So
critical thinking doesn't come from amount of years spent in a school, because
no.
I mean, there's literally doctors with no common sense, and they've
Mhm.
spent their damn whole life in school, right?
Yeah.
So, it sucks, but we've been pushed this way, right? This didn't happen by chance. We didn't, back in the 1700s, 1800s, a young man was required to handle his own legal affairs, right? So when the country was founded, there were no prosecutors, right? If somebody wronged you, you were the prosecutor, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just, we've fallen so far down this intellectual ladder, even from 100 years ago, when men would have dens filled with library, hard-covered leather books, and, they would read. And now you've got men that sit around watching an 85-inch TV so you can see a really good picture of that man in tights ass as he runs down the field with the ball, and it's like there's no intellectual stimulation that's going on in our society really anymore.
Yep.
Trouble.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. Some of the best cops I know, I see some commonalities. They were they were baristas. They were, bartenders. They were in retail. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I'm very inquisitive, and I've always been this way, but I'm very inquisitive when I'm around coworkers and I see cops I respect, or I see cops that I'm like, God damn, this guy's good. Like the way he's talking to this dude, the way he's getting information from this person, or the way that he's handling this call. I'm like he hasn't been a cop that long. Why is he so damn good at this? And I'll ask him. I'll be like, hey, what'd you do for a living before you were a cop? I always ask that question. I want to know their path, how they got to where they were at. And it's these people that I find them, the parallels to comedians is so strange, that most of the great cops had a shit upbringing. They had to struggle their way up. They didn't grow up with money. They didn't grow up with education, and they worked in services, some sort of, like I said, whether it's retail or, bartender or whatever. Those are the best cops. They don't need to go to college. They just know how to talk to people and how to deal with them. I don't know why that is. But for me, in my 20 years of talking to people and asking that specific question around the cops that I really like and enjoy, that seems to be the commonality. And then the cops that I ask the same type of questions to cops that I don't care for, And more often than not, the cops that I don't really care for, they grew up sheltered, and they went to college. They're right out of high school, and they didn't really face any real struggle, but they all want to say they did. You because you'll try to press back. I'll ask them, and like, oh, so like, what'd you do, growing up? Because I'm not an idiot. I'll ask questions in a non-probing way, but I'm probing to try to figure them out. And I'll ask them, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, what jobs did you do before this? And they're like, oh, I did this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay. And the commonality is some of them didn't ever work. They just went straight from high school to college, and then they became a cop. And then I ask them about the neighborhoods or see like the areas they grew up in, and I'll look it up. And I'm like, oh shit, they grew up in a Boy Scout area. There's not a whole lot going on there. So the cops that don't have the struggle, they didn't grow. It's not that they can't do good. It's just my experience with them is they're not typically, in general sense, they're not the best cops. But that's who we want. That's who we hire.
Well, right, and it also has to do with people's beliefs as well. They grow up in those neighborhoods. They have the family beliefs. Like, so anybody that works in public service, I have a hard time changing their mind that there might be something amiss with the government.
Somebody fall?
How the government's doing. Yeah, I think my wife dropped the log. We heat the house with a fireplace.
Got a wood stove, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, we got a fireplace. It's nice, but
okay.
Now I forgot my train of thought because she dropped that thing and huge. I thought a bomb went off.
No worries. No worries. Well, sir, I will say this. I really appreciate your time and you jumping on. I want to do a full podcast with you if you're willing and do it right. But thank you so much for dropping in. I hope you guys stay warm tonight. As a person that grew up in Michigan, I fully understand having a fireplace and having a wood stove and all that good stuff. So, but no, thank you very much.
Yeah. Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'll definitely be down to set something up. Just let me know whenever. I'm pretty flexible. So.
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right.
Take it easy.
Thanks again, guys. Yes, sir.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Let me get this going here. All right, there we are. So did we get another one? Oh no.
Maybe him just jumping out.
Yeah, as I say, I heard the noise. So looking over at the compliments, the comments. That's what I was looking for. Just seeing what everybody's saying. Chaplain Campbell said, "Thank you for the privilege to join tonight's conversation. May each of you stay safe and receive blessings." It's always so nice when a chaplain just blesses you. I don't know why. I do believe that there is a God out there. So for me, it's always comforting. Love that. But
100%.
One of the things that didn't get brought up when we were talking to him is the stuff they do beforehand too. They're at all the, they'll show up at briefings. They'll show up at, some of the dinners and things like that. And so they get to know the guys in the situations before they actually become situations. And that's pretty appreciative, because they actually know who they are.
Yep. So I pulled up some videos. So, I mean, this is kind of the thing that we do on our lives. And when we do our live streams and stuff, we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in, which isn't uncommon for us. If we've got over a classroom size with us right now. So we're going to keep going. And I would love to see what we can find out on some of these newer videos that we haven't talked about. So let me share the screen. Again, if you guys are not familiar with what we do with these body cam videos, is we have never watched them. Let me biggie size this real quick. We have never watched these videos. If we have seen them, we'll let you guys know. But the point is, it's not Monday morning quarterbacking. We're going to go through these body cam videos as though we are the officers on the call and kind of give you that inside look at some officers training. If you guys have questions, if you have concerns, if you're like, why the fuck would you do that? Or I would have done this instead. Put it in the comments. Let us know. We'll walk through them. This is the interactive time. I mean, the whole night's been interactive time. So you guys had your opportunity to jump on the live. If somebody, to our mods, if they're listening still, if somebody does decide they want to jump on, let us know. We're not going to shut that off, but we're going to move over to our next segment, which is body cam reviews. Banning, Alan, anything to add?
No, I think that's a great idea.
Cool.
Keep it moving.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Let me know if you guys can hear this when it starts. Okay, shout out to Police Activity. All of our videos tonight are off of their YouTube channel, so make sure you like, subscribe, follow Police Activity. I always like to give credit to these guys because they take the time to get this public information. So I'm sorry, I know there was a lot of action that was about to start. Normally I say this before we hit play. I forgot to do it. So here we go. Let's hit play. Okay, I don't know what we're doing, but we're chasing somebody. That's what it seems like to me. Banning, you got anything to add on this so far?
I feel the same.
Yeah, I
He's
got nothing.
moving.
Yeah, he's moving. And I don't see anybody, so he's moving really fast towards nothing to me right now.
He's not running the Golden Corral. He's recording for a reason.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to be on high alert. We don't run with our gun out mostly. So that is a thing. Guys, I want you to understand, police departments have policy about running with your gun in your hand because you don't want an accidental bang. So there are moments where it may be against policy, but I understand why cops do it, and I'm okay with it. If I'm on the guy's heels and he takes a corner, I'm not going to wait to get my gun out to go around this corner. I'm going to be running with my gun out. I'll deal with the consequences of violating the general orders. That fair to say?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're going to keep going. This isn't a long video, so something's going to happen fast. I'm going to get laughing at one.
Hey, show me your hands. Show me your.
Okay. So we're getting some commands. I still don't know what we have. It looks like we're coming to a natural conclusion. So like I said, if I'm on their heels, my gun's coming out. I'm by myself, or at least it appears I'm by myself. So a taser's out of the question because we want to come down in use of force levels, not start too low and then have to jump to something higher. So in this case right now, it's nighttime. You can't see that well. Have no idea what this guy did. You and I were all guessing. We don't know. So I'm assuming if we're chasing after him, it's something pretty serious. So my gun's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything on that?
No, you can always pull that out in a situation like this. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to pull the trigger.
Right. And you can switch to something else.
Yep.
So if we get there and we can see his hands, maybe we switch over to our taser.
Yeah, I mean, there for a second, it looked like maybe it was his gun in his hands as he came around this truck, but it looks to be that it was just his flashlight. So
yeah, I can't fucking tell. I mean, he's got a flashlight on, which if he is right hand dominant, this is a dangerous thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Hands.
We're running around this car
Show me
plane.
hands.
There we go. There's a guy.
Oh,
It's like a horror movie.
I think that's a flashlight on the gun.
Oh, is he using a weapon mounted light?
Yeah, that's a weapon mounted light. Because
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to say something. I have not seen something this jumpy and sketchy with Axon. I can see that it's Axon in a long time. And this is what appears to be less than a month old video.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Are they going into that data that's not recorded? Do you understand what I'm saying, Eric?
I think it's a lot of these guys are wearing these shirts
outer carriers.
loose. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's got a loose outer carrier.
And it's bouncing. Real
Yeah.
bad.
I think it's a lot of bouncing.
Something's got to be addressed with that. I mean, that's ridiculous and how much shake we have in it.
Yep. I think that is
Yeah, we're getting some of these cradles and stuff with these cameras that flop because these outer carriers stretch over time, and it's not holding them firm to the.
Yep. So if Alan, what you say is true, that it is a gun in his hand, this is exactly why we don't run with our gun in our hand,
Yeah.
because we don't ever want to go hands-on with a weapon in our hand when we're fighting with a suspect, because we could accidentally fire a gun.
Yeah, and that means he's using his finger to turn this light, so
Yeah, it's
where are we at with our finger?
We also have what's called sympathetic trigger response,
Right,
and
right.
that's a scientifically known. So put that shit in your holster.
yeah. It's hard to do sometimes if you're really dependent on that flashlight, but
Shame on them if they're dependent on that flashlight.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
And the second you turn it off, you just lost your night eyes. Like,
Yep.
or turned it on. Excuse me. You like there went your night eyes. So.
Yep. Oh yeah, that is his gun. Oh no, he meant to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Oh,
That dude turned around. Like,
that guy did turn something around.
oh yeah, he did.
Oh, and he tried again.
Damn.
That's the third time he turned and picked his arm up.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
Wow.
God, that's-
Yeah. That dude did turn. I don't know if he pointed a gun or not, but it looked like
let's read
he
the
did.
narrative attached to this area.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I just let me.
I mean, the first time he did look like he was trying to banish something. Like,
Yeah.
but it was so hard to see.
Okay, so I know this is harder for y'all to read, but on Monday, December 29, 2025, at approximately 2:15 a.m., officers with the Bakersfield Police Department were patrolling near Mohawk Street in Sienna Lane. Officers initiated a traffic stop of a vehicle for a traffic-related violation. The vehicle stopped near Latina Drive and Pisa Way, where an adult male occupant fled on foot. A uniformed officer pursued the individual, and a physical struggle occurred while the officer caught up to him. During the struggle, the suspect produced a handgun and pointed it at the officer. It was at this point the officer fired his weapon at the suspect. Officers on scene provided medical aid to the suspect, where they were relieved by medical personnel. The suspect, identified as 37-year-old Fabian Lopez, was transported to a local hospital where he was listed in critical condition. Then when Lopez is discharged, he will be booked at the Laredo jail facility for multiple counts of attempted murder on a peace officer with a firearm-related charges.
And this is props to where we pull this from, police activity. This is more than likely what is called a public facing narrative, which gives you the 30,000 foot view of what's being released. It's not giving you all the details, but it's giving you enough to understand what you're looking at. So the actual narrative, the CID or detective comments, everything leading up to this will have much more impact. But when you get something that just happened a couple of days ago, you're only going to get so much of a synopsis from that department.
Yeah.
That was Christmas morning. Welcome to Christmas Day, guys.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pause it at the right moment here. Okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to see what he saw here. Damn. Yeah, that looks like shit. Okay, so he stopped firing. So this is the part I want to point out to any citizen that's watching that doesn't have much use of force or any expertise on this. The officer fired, and when the threat stopped, he stopped. So I want you to think about that. He saw a firearm, fired on this guy, and now he stopped. He's no longer shooting at this guy. So that's a good thing. He didn't just mag dump. And that guy just turned.
And there was something that was not a cell phone in his hand.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a gun. Yeah, that's what he sees right there.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a handgun to me.
Does a good job on the pause button right there,
like
buddy.
That? Yeah. I'm still. Don't let the smoke wagon fool you. I got some quick reflexes here, son. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Tell me you wouldn't think that's a gun. Yeah. Yeah, that's That's a good shoot all day. So he fires.
And then it's going to come again.
It shows you the resolve this man has. He knows that's a gun now. For sure. He has to know that the officer knows that's a gun. And
He's
he
waiting
stops.
to see if his actions
Yeah.
plausible. I mean, we're waiting to see if that motion stops.
Yeah. And so this officer fires, stops. I mean, that is incredible. I would be firing here.
Yep.
He is trying to get back up. There's no reasonable person that would let a cop fire at him in 2 different volleys, try to get back up and turn towards him. This guy's intending to try to hurt you. So that's the way I'm looking at this. He's raising his arms up. He's fucked. I can tell you right now he's fucked. But the way he's squatting there. And the officer is giving commands and stops firing again. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah, kudos on like
this is definitely a kudos to this officer.
And look at the backdrop. Like,
yeah,
that's
very good discipline. This officer is trained and he's trained well. So I'm gonna look, I will hold a bad cop accountable, and I will definitely elevate a very good cop. This cop is amazing. Great job.
So I think the reason why that camera's bouncing the way it is, he's wearing one of those thicker jackets, and so he's probably got the camera on the outside of that outer, that big thick jacket, and so that jacket's bouncing.
Yeah, that's possible too. So yeah, out at Bakersfield, California. Good job. I never want to see somebody have to get shot.
No,
but this guy had it coming. I mean, he brought that smoke on himself. Not sure what's being said out in the chat. I don't see nobody's really arguing with it. It doesn't look like. So that's a good thing. We're all on the same path with this one. Let's go to the next. Let me share the screen. All right. Let me biggie size this one. All right. And let's go.
911, what is your emergency?
If you guys got questions, feel free to ask.
There's this weird customer. He just walked in the back where we are working.
What is he doing back there?
I'm sorry?
What is he doing?
He just walks back here like if he works here with us, but it's just like a random homeless person.
And I know he walked back there, but is he doing anything?
It's good dispatcher.
I mean, he didn't want to get out. He said that he was seeing stuff and he was hearing stuff. I don't know. He kind of just keeps us out.
Okay, so with that, they just gave us the elements for trespassing. They said, what is he doing? Which, like you said, that's a good dispatcher.
It is.
And they said that he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to leave, and that he's seeing things. So that is the elements of trespass. You need to tell the person they're not allowed to be there, and they continue to stay. So what do you got, Banning?
I mean, here's the deal. I mean, you and I both, all three of us on the panel, we get sent dozens of videos a day. And I understand people get upset at law enforcement, and we have to look at dispatch, and I hold dispatch to a different regard only because my wife worked up through the ranks and then eventually became the dispatch supervisors. You've got to have the right questions. These people that are calling 911, they're going through a certain type of stress that their body doesn't go through. And unfortunately, these dispatchers, and I say fortunately and unfortunately, are trained, if they're at a decent department, to filter what they have to give to the responders that are going to the scene.
Yep.
If you hear this dispatcher, like, okay, great, he's walking around the employee area, but what is he doing? Is he, and my, just looking at it as a citizen is like, is he looking for a bathroom? Is he, is there a do not enter? Did he defeat a locked door? These are things that first responders or officers have got to know before they come to the scene. You get confused people all the time. And we got so many people that get confused. They're not necessarily a criminal.
Yeah.
But this dispatcher is truly trying to get down to what's going on there. And not all dispatchers are created equal in this, because sometimes people being people, they'll put their opinions on things, they'll do this and that affects the type of response that they get from law enforcement.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Where's play? There we go.
Give me the address.
Is he still there? Or is he gone?
He's still there. We're trying to like go to the front counter, but he's screaming at us. So
Does he look like he's intoxicated, or does he look like he has mental health?
maybe he's like high or something.
Hey, sir, I don't want to dispatch now he's saying that I tried to...
And he took one of our phones from the restaurant.
Now we got theft. Okay, so me as the officer, I'm going to have all this information that I know that I'm going into a person that we've told to leave and he's refused to leave. So I at least at a minimum have trespass.
You bet.
I know that he's taken a phone. So now I have theft. Or maybe destruction of property, some other offense.
He's not responding to their request.
Right. And I can at least have dispatch jump on and say that they can kind of hear this guy in the background too, that he's still on scene. So all of these are important factors coming to the call. So I know me personally, if I'm coming to these calls, they're pretty fun for me. I like these. They're entertaining normally. So I am going to be coming into it with like, ooh, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to see what kind of crazy person that I'm going to be dealing with. Not at the expense of the person. It's just, listen, if you can't enjoy your job, then why the fuck do it, right? So I always say we have front row tickets to the greatest show on earth. And this is the type of call that to me is fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now there's a lot of cops out there like, I want to go to the armed robbery of a bank. That's fun. Like, to me, not fun. That's not a fun call. I'm going to jump on it because I want to be the guy that helps.
And this,
not a fun call.
and to kind of expound on that is this person may need mental help, and this is his outcry.
Yeah.
We may be able to provide the right services to said person, creating the disturbance that started the 911 call to begin with. And that's the big thing, is when you can actually get, and Eric's been on long enough to where you've actually seen this person, you've dealt with them, you've got them the help, and then maybe a year later you see them again, not as a 911 call, but maybe to where they're calling 911, and they've received the help that they need, and now they're contributing to the people where they live in a good way, and they're a contributing person now, and they've got the help they received, and they're an outstanding citizen, and that's part of this job, is to see the help go a long way, and that's what Eric means by that. We get to see what our services do.
Yeah.
So this is also 5:50 at night. So it's probably one of the very first calls of the night, because it looks like it's the 8th call, or the 8th recording on the camera. So yeah, they're pretty fresh on the call, on the night too.
Yeah. Well, depending on the city.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, looking
Yeah.
at the camera, it looks like it's the 8th recording on that camera.
Yeah.
And, so it's probably just starting for their shift, and
pretty close to Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's on the 21st of December. So all of these things are factors when we're going into these calls. And I'm going to be honest, if I'm the first guy through the door, I'm going to have the same kind of jovial attitude I have towards most things. I'm like, hey, brother, what's going on? Da-da-da. I almost said my police department. Da-da-da, police department.
Why do you do that, Eric?
That's,
I think that's something that needs to be known for a lot of people, because every officer is different in how they do that.
There's a legal purpose behind it. The reason I come in and immediately identify myself is because if I do have to go to court later, I want there to be no question that I identified myself as a police officer. I told you exactly who I am, and I came in trying to be chill. Like,
right.
No matter what they say, like, what did you say, Officer Lavigne? Well, I said, hey, brother, what's going on? Officer Lavigne, the police department. There's no question. I am in a full uniform. There's no question that I'm not the guy. So they can't argue that, well, he didn't know you were a police officer. Right. You know, motherfucker, because I told you. So, That's the reason I do that. And two, I'm trying to de-escalate. My mannerisms, how I talk, and the way I talk, all are a de-escalation tactic. What are you giggling about?
Wade Lacero's comment that's up top.
Oh, yeah. Hey, bro, we're the government, and we're here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I say that, I don't trust that shit.
That's good stuff.
He's
right
100%
there.
right. Yeah. If I come in the door saying that, run.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, I've seen you talk to people, but like it's also to like let everybody else in the room know, hey, I'm here, and the tensions are already tight if the cops are getting called.
Yeah. I want every witness to say, I heard that officer come in, and he was so chill. He was just like, hey, he called him brother.
And I'm venturing to guess he's probably during this call going to ask for his ID. Just FYI, I'm going to throw that out there. That's coming.
Me personally, the ID is one of the furthest things from my mind. I'm
just throwing that out there.
Yeah. When I go in personally, I want to start getting a conversation going with this person. So I'm going to be like, hey, brother, Officer Lavigne, or Sergeant Lavigne, whatever you want to say. What's going on tonight? Like, these motherfuckers, whatever he wants to say. Okay. Oh, hey, cool. Hey, do me a favor. Like, I don't want to cause any trouble in here or anything like that. Can we go outside and talk? And then now it's an assessment moment.
Yep. My
questions are made for assessment. They're not to set you up. They're not to do anything. I want to see where I'm at with this person. Can I reason with them? Can I not reason with them? If I can reason with them, then yeah, they're going to come outside and talk to me, because now they see a uniform, they see an authority. We'll see their level of compliance. If they're chill and they're cool, all right, awesome. And I'm going to let them know, hey, man, you're not in any trouble right now. I don't know what's going on. I need to find out, but I want to get your side of the story, and I got to do that out here. My partner's going to come over and talk to these people, and this is where it goes into informed strategy. This is my favorite way of being a cop: informed strategy. So I go in and I tell you what's going on, so there's no questions.
That's right.
Well, why are you separating us? Why do you want your partner? Because they're going to talk and get their side of the story, so you can give me your side of the story. And now they're like, oh yeah, this motherfucker's going to get my side. Because I guarantee this guy's off his rocker and he's not acting in his right mind. So I need to appeal to his right mind the best we can while he's in his drug-induced, alcohol-induced, mental health issue-induced, whatever it is.
Well, in reality, Eric, I mean, this could be somebody that has had so much building up today. Okay, I'm not talking about somebody with mental problems. Somebody that had so much building up today, and he came through the drive-through line, because we've both seen this on calls. And he asked for ketchup 4 different times, from the person taking the order to coming up to the window to going here. And then he gets in his bag and he comes out to the parking lot and he looks in there, and in his mind, these MFers didn't put friggin' ketchup in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've lost my mind. His wife may be sitting in the passenger seat, and he goes inside and he's going to get his friggin' ketchup because that's supposed to come with the order. Now, we've seen those escalate. Now, we can usually pipe those down pretty quick. And it could be the latter as well, but we've seen those even get carried to a point of law enforcement presence is needed to cool the situation.
Yeah, I'm laughing over here at Shotguns and Tattoos. She said, spray bottle, no, bad criminal. Look at the cat. Get off the counter, bad guy. Oh,
and I bring that up also because there's also those officers you don't want going through the front door first. We all have them on that team.
For sure.
And we're like, I'm going to go and confront that guy. You go talk to the manager.
Yeah.
Because
everybody knows I am not a scene control hog.
Yep.
But if I see somebody I know it's going to escalate the scene, and I'm like, nope, I got it. Shut the fuck up. I got this. I am in the process of doing a Freedom of Information Act. I have a CIT video, my own personal body cam video. I'm going to get it, and then I am going to edit it so you can't tell the department, you can't tell any of that shit. So that's a goal. I want you to see, and I'm going to show you, because I had a person that was on the scene where I didn't want them doing anything, and you see me tell them. And we're friends. Like, I know this guy. It's just I knew what I was dealing with. I got a lot more experience than him. I just didn't want him to do rookie shit. And he was a rookie. I don't want to say he's a full rookie, but I didn't have the confidence in him at the time. So
Well, and then there's times where you want him to go and initiate it because you know how he's gonna. There's certain situations. Every one of them, is a different scenario, and so you can
this
just
particular
see it.
one, I needed patience, and I knew I had the time and I had the patience for it, and I had it was me and 2 other officers. One of the officers had a lot of experience and was also like me, very patient, and then the other one did not have a reputation for being the patient guy. And it's not nothing against him. He's not a bad cop. He's a great cop. It's just we're built different, and I didn't need his style in this particular moment. So, I'm gonna keep playing here and see how we. I think that's our bad guy at the door right now. By the way, kind of looks like him. And listen, when you guys hear me say bad guy, relax. It's suspect, person that's being called on, whatever you want to call it. I just use bad guy because it's just how I've been, that's my culture and how I was raised with policing. That doesn't mean they're an actual bad person. So just don't be so sensitive. Anyway. And I will say, everybody looks chill. Nobody's got a gun out. Nobody's got their tasers out yet. Nobody's got shit out. So I'm liking how this is starting out. Our guy's backed up. My big concern as we're walking through the door is hands. I'm always worried about hands. Can I see them? So I'm still going to talk chill. I just want to try to see hands. And I'll ask them or do something to try to get them to show me their hands. I'm like, what's up, bro? And I'm like, what, you don't want to wave to me? I've used that a million times. You don't want to wave to me? And then you see me, oh, I'm sorry. Well, guess what? I just figured out what your dominant hand is, and I just watched you. It's empty. It's a worthy strategy, y'all. It worked.
And you weren't sitting there, show me your hands.
Yeah.
Get your hands out of the pocket. That automatically escalates.
Yeah.
Like
I'll ask him to fist bump or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just it's not because I'm trying to be friendly. I mean, I am being friendly, but I'm also listen, I know it's a dumb face. It's a whole dumb head, but I'm good at this. I'm good at the cop stuff. I'm not good at a lot of things, but I'm really good at cop stuff. So, all right, let's keep going.
Hey, what's up, big dog?
There we go. I like that. I don't like that my left hand is being hidden. However, I will say most people aren't left-handed. This would be one of the first things I start to look towards, and but I would be concerned with this. I don't like this. I don't like the backing up, the putting the hand out, trying to tell me to stop.
Yeah, he's making distance. I mean, he moved from the door even before the door started to be open.
So I'm not going to necessarily start addressing the hand as a threat, like to make him get tense. But I'm like, hey, man, excuse me, you're not in trouble. We're just here to talk. Just do me a favor. Just keep your hands out of your pockets while we talk. That's the direction I'm going to try to go here.
And I'm gonna. Hey, are you the one that I'm here to talk to?
You're talking. You know he's the guy, but
yeah. Play ignorant.
Yeah, and now he's putting his other hand in his pocket, so that's a concern.
You're okay. Just keep your hands out of your pockets. Come here.
Okay, so he's following the exact de-escalation pattern I would do. Hey, man, you good? Just keep your hands out of your pockets. I like the way he's doing this. Has anybody got anything else to say on this? I don't.
We've got no beef. I mean, as long as the guy, first of all, we have legal reason to be there. That's the big thing. Do we have legal reason to be there? We do. And whatever comments of the dispatcher that it was pretty profound at the beginning of this, put the good information out there. So we have a legal reason to be there. We're giving him a legal command. We're trying to figure out what's going on. How can we help him on whatever he's upset about, and on top of that, how can we help the original complainant? And hopefully it doesn't have to go to force, period.
Yeah. Now there's an obscure technique that I have seen other officers do that I honestly I've adopted, but I'm very scarce on how I use it. I have seen officers, they're like, hey man, like as they're coming in right now, I want you to picture this. Hey, man, we're not here for you. You have a good night. And they'll go over and talk to the complainant. That's a brilliant technique, but it's risky. Like there's a lot of risk behind it.
Well, he's got numbers, and we've used that quite a bit where, okay, now maybe he'll go outside and the 2 that are outside can deal with him. Why
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of gives you an opportunity to separate you and the people working there.
Yes. And so I do like where we're at. There's nobody in there. I see no workers. It doesn't look like there's any workers behind them. I don't even know what we're at, to be honest. This restaurant does not look familiar.
24-hour food chain somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're at, but okay. So let's keep going.
So come here. Stop. I'm telling you slowly, bro. Chill.
That's not good. This is where I'm stopping and probably using that corner that we just came up to. I don't want to be in the open while somebody's digging. I'm always scanning for an escape route. Call it hypervigilance, call it whatever you want, but I'm always scanning for an escape route. And so as I'm going to go back just a little bit.
My only concern is where are the employees? Like,
yes. Like this is where
a blind hole right there.
Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to get to this point, but I'm not going to go any further because this guy keeps backing up unless I feel like there's employees right there, but there's nothing indicating that to me right now.
No, let's think about from what we're saying on this. I mean, what's right behind him is a couple of drink and ice machines. It's probably the drive-through line. You may have a car on the other side of that window. I mean, you've got to think of this as that officer coming on scene.
Well, and hopefully that officer that was at the door with you, like, told everybody else to go to the other, because that female officer opened the door. Hopefully they're getting the rest of that building looked into.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, I don't like where we end up going to. It to me, I can't tell if this is suicide by cop yet, but I'm getting those vibes already. Whether that's drug induced or not. But I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Billfold. He dropped a level 1 donut membership today, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Wade Lucero said, reaching. Yeah, he is reaching. Like this. And if you're in the comment section tonight, like, tell me, how would you feel? You got to go deal with this crazy dude that's doing crazy shit pretty close to Christmas. Like, how much do you let them get away with?
And if you do too much too quick, you're over escalating. But if you don't do enough, you're under escalating. And, you know, there's a fine line.
Yeah. And I would love to. I think we all agree that this officer's his style of de-escalation is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody that wouldn't like this style of de-escalation. I feel like this is exactly how I would do it. Maybe not the same words, but the style and tone is spot on. I mean, I told you guys what I would do as we went in, and then it's exactly what he said. I was like, I'd be concerned about him reaching, so I would address that. But at the same time, I would keep a easy tone. And that's exactly what this guy did. And we didn't know that going into it. So we're going to play here.
So come here. Stop. I'm telling you slowly, bro. Chill. Hey. Chill.
Did he just cock a gun?
I think it was him coming with the taser out of his taser holster.
Yeah. Was that what that was? I'm going to go back just slightly because I swear I saw this.
I thought something.
I'm going to play from here.
Hey. Chill.
Okay, his hand's empty.
Relax. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Okay, so this is what I want to know. He's still being very chill. The officer's being very chill. Nobody's yelling. Nobody's escalating. He went to a taser, which I don't mind because we can see the hands are empty. Now this is where force science really comes into play because we've got our taser pointed at him and this dude's already reaching again. So now we have to process that he's reaching. And if this guy were to pull out a knife or a gun, we're way behind the curve. The taser is not what you want to rely on in that situation.
So do you think, and we'll probably see it, you know, they're good about having other angles. Do you think she's at the same distance he is on his right?
I would imagine they're online. That's what I'm thinking. I bet she's on the little other side of this wall that we see here, this red wall.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering in his peripheral if he can see she's got her gun out. Like,
I kind of feel like he's honed in on the female, the suspect. It looks like he's looking.
And that's why I'm wondering, like, maybe she has a gun out and that's why he's looking at her, not
possibly. Yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I don't have a problem with his taser being out. I would like some communication.
Yep.
Hey, I'm gonna go taser, you go lethal, whatever. You don't even have to say that. All I need to say, if you're trained properly, all I need to say is I'm gonna go taser, and that other person automatically knows they're lethal. So I'm just looking over at the comments. Wade said it's a retention click. Looks like something in the left hand. There's another genius trying to get a shot.
Too hard to see that left hand on this motion.
Yeah. To me, it looks like the left hand's open and he's trying to get into that right hand.
Stabilize the jacket to get in there.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, I'm just going to say, based on his body language, that's a gun draw motion.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a knife draw motion. I don't know how to explain that. I've seen a lot of people draw knives out. That's not how they do it. Most people blade their body this way when they're trying to grab a gun. I don't know why that is. I never even thought about that till just now.
They hold their forearm different too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. This is a gun draw. I think this guy's going to draw a gun. Or at least pretend he is. And he's going to pull his hand out and do the finger draw. So that could be something else we have to be concerned about.
Shotguns and tattoos. What song is that? Because you're right.
Now that song's in my head. What song?
There was music playing in the restaurant.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I said chill. Chill.
That's a gun. I was right. That's a gun. Yeah.
And you have a taser.
And you got a taser. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to pull the trigger on the taser
and
drop it as I'm going for my gun.
Yep.
I mean, at least that's what I'm hoping I would do.
Yep.
What do you got, Banning?
No, we see so much of these people, and I understand it, that it's so much heat from the community. They're pulling these tasers out. When it's an unknown object, we have to make sure that we're at the level. We can always digress.
Yep.
We can always come back.
Yeah.
But you've got to go home at the end of the night, period. And a lot of people are going to argue with me on that, and I don't care. Argue with me. But I want to make sure that everybody, even including the guy that's making bad decisions in front of that soda machine right there, it's ridiculous. We've got to go to the next level. There's a time and a place for a taser.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what Mr. Billfold said here. We in the community try and humanize we the people to LEOs, and Eric and the crew humanize the badge. I never enjoyed or watched body cam videos in like this before these streams. So I appreciate that. That's kind of, listen, it's not going to do us any good for us to talk at you guys and throw a bunch of cop vomit of like, this is how they need to handle this call, da, 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 da. Like, I've never believed that. But what I've never seen anybody do, and this is why I do it the way I do it, is I just want you to know how I'm thinking of a call as I'm doing it. Like, this is how I'm thinking as I'm going through a call. You guys, if I was full of shit, there wouldn't be consistency. I think I at least me and Banning, as we've been on here, the way we tell you we're going to handle, and even Alan, the way we tell you we handle calls, the consistency's there. We've been doing this fucking 5 years. Like, I'm being honest. This is how I handle a call. I'm going through, and this is what I'm thinking. So I think that alleviates a lot of misconception of how, like, have you guys ever heard me going into a call and go, well, I know I got qualified immunity, so I'm going to be able to handle this call this way. I've never thought that way once in my life. I've never even thought of qualified immunity. Not once. It's never even been a thought in my head.
You know what's come across my mind is I hope tonight's not the night.
Yeah, I've thought that.
Yep.
I will be honest. I have had the thought a few times, like, well, if I get shot, I hope it's a cool one where it's like in the leg, but not like deadly. And I can be like, oh yeah, got shot in the leg, but I was able to return fire. But I've thought that shit. Well, maybe, hopefully if I do take a round, like it hits me in the vest and, I'm like, oh God, that hurts so bad, but then I'm good.
They're going to make
or you've had the moment where you've almost shit yourself because it's like, oh shit, that just happened.
Well, no, I've had those.
Many a time.
I've had those.
Yeah.
I've had those moments where I'm like, I'm being shot at and I can't fire back because there's too many people.
Oh shit.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad. Yeah. That was not a conversation I had with my wife. I was like, she's like, how'd work go? I was like, it was crazy. Yeah, I didn't want to tell me to stop doing it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Mr. Bill Foley brings up a good point when he's talking about, that they never watched streams like this before. And I think the reason, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the reason that is because we're not talking at you. We're just telling you how we think about these calls as though we're in them. We're not cop-splaining. I'm simply just telling you how I handle calls.
And throw up Mr. Bill Fold's comment up there in the top, because that's important. And that's Eric and I talk to cops all over this country.
This one?
No, the one that just came up. You don't think about QI because you're a good cop who's acting within the reasonableness standard of the fourth when you do your job. And Eric and I know thousands of cops that do that. So QI is never an issue, but that's a very good comment. I appreciate Mr. Billfold bringing that up. Is that all cops? No. Are some of them out there violating? Absolutely. And we're here to highlight that. But that's a brazen comment. And I appreciate Mr. Billfold doing that. And Eric and I are both seeing some of the stuff that we didn't see prior to this podcast nationwide.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I will fully. I've said it several times on the podcast, but having this platform, doing what I do, has made me a better cop because I'm able to see outside of my own fishbowl. You guys are able to give me perspectives that I will never see if I stay in my current status or that current status I was in. And I knew that. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this. It's one of the reasons I became a cop was so unique. How do you become a cop now?
Hey, Eric, touch your mic connection. It just like the bottom of your mic or something, because it's where it's plugging in on the XLR. It just went weird.
Test 1 2.
There it goes. It's good.
Back to normal.
Yep.
I'm glad you told me.
It just did it, so like 10 seconds ago.
Okay, so but yeah, that's I jumped into being a cop, not liking cops. It was shitty in Flint. So
well, and I think that's where experience and lifestyle and things like that give you a good head on your shoulders. We talk about officers and age and things like that, and I was 27 when I became a cop. I was a little later, down the road. I was a little more grown up, so I see it a little different. But I also had some experience growing up, where I knew where the bad side of town was, and I knew, like I lived there, and so I understood how to talk and do those kind of things. And then we get people that don't grow up, that way, and they don't understand that what it's like to not have food that night. And it's different.
Yeah. One of my favorite ways to say is, if you didn't eat cereal out of a Cool Whip bowl that had spaghetti stains on the side, then you didn't grow up like me.
Damn right.
I stole that joke, but it explains it. I think it was Ralphie May that said that joke, but he spoke to my soul.
That's
my
funny.
mom, she'll vouch for it. She'll get on there. It's usually a cottage cheese bowl that we'd eat out of, but
that's awesome.
The struggle was real when we first started. It was just the way it was. My mom did what she could. No shame in that. And Mr. Billfold said, Eric, you nailed it. You keep the cop-splaining to a bare minimum. And it's funny, too, because prior to this podcast, I never thought of how we explain things, because most of the time we're explaining to other cops. So when the community kind of opened my eyes to what cop-splaining was, I found myself changing the way I talk about these things. So I'm not doing that because I understand what they're saying. I'm like, oh, fuck, you're right. I am cop-splaining. Well, that's stupid. So let me stop doing that. And he said, you get what you put in, Eric, Banning, and Alan. We have made you guys better cops with a bigger perspective, and you made some of us more understanding of the police side of the coin. And that was the goal to begin with, brother. Yep. That was the goal.
You had to bring up freaking Ralphie May, man. That guy's been passed away since 2017, and he was one hell of a comedian.
Yeah, it was great. I loved him.
Great comedian.
I loved him because he really appealed to the black community. You guys will notice a trend with me. Like I loved Ralphie May. I went and watched Gary Owens. Like, these are my people. So totally love it. Sorry, just looking at the thing. Okay, let's finish this call. I have a feeling it's not going to go good for the suspect.
Hey, stop! Hey, stop!
good transition. This guy went into flinch mode. Okay, we've already fired some shots. The guy had nowhere to go, it looks like. I thought there was a door right there, but apparently there's not. Backed him into a corner. Doesn't look like we gave a whole lot of verbal commands, but the dude already pointed the gun, so I'm going to go back.
Yeah, I think they even gave him time. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, hey. 1033, give me the patch.
Damn, did he do all that one-handed?
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's the only one that fired.
Because he's still got the taser. He had the taser in his left hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy. Like,
that was, I mean,
I know that's not that far away. It looks farther than what it really is because of the fisheye lens, but
that's 12 to 15 feet from where he's standing.
Yeah. So that's pretty close.
Hey, 143 King 7, 998, 998.
Just curious, we're going to see her view. Oh, there's 3. We got 3 cops here.
Hey, what's up, big dog? Oh, you're okay.
Even his demeanor is chill.
Yep.
Like slouched disposition to him. Yep. I know people are like, this is a tactic. Like I have changed my posture and everything. Like it works. You walk in there all cocky and straight chest and back straight like they teach you in the military. Like that can have the opposite effect of what you want it to have.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Command presence has to be different. It's a call by call basis.
Yes, exactly. You got to be
unless you have Banning walking in and you just, he has his own command presence.
Yeah. Some people say you want to be like a chameleon, and I'm like, nah, son. That's rookie level. You want to be like an octopus. Yep.
It's awesome.
For those that know.
You gotta go.
Okay, we're lining out here. Okay, so she went deadly.
Good spread.
Yep. Either these guys worked together a lot, and that was good.
Yep.
Or they pre-gamed it before they got there, which is possible.
Either way, they're doing good so far.
Yeah, good so far. There's our door. So yes, when we backed him up here, he had nowhere to go. We're online. I'm okay. I'm okay with all this. There's nowhere. I don't even see a hallway over here. I thought maybe
I'm thinking the body camera that we're looking at right now may have made that first shot. That's just a guess.
Possible. And there's this is where the employees are.
Mm-hmm. That's an employee, right?
Or where they could be.
Yep.
So once they back him up past that, there's nowhere for him to go.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. I said chill. Get on the
This
ground,
one-handed
shit.
Yep. This guy fired first.
Yep.
Yeah. That explains it. And I don't blame him for his view either. He didn't fire till he saw that gun come up.
Right.
So. No issues. I think these officers did what they could. They talked the way I would have talked. I didn't see an issue with the way they were talking. So,
those who opposed that shooting, neither one of these 3 officers, I don't care who you are, woke up that day and said, you know what? I hope I can unalive something today. That's not what they set out to do. These guys were sent to a call with minimal knowledge, and they came there and did the best that they could with the information that they had.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Billfold said, dude holstered his taser and drew simultaneously. Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and what most people don't know is that holster for the taser is intentionally put in an awkward location, so you don't pull it like a gun. So
yeah, you have to be very intentional with the way you draw it. If it's done right and your department's doing it the right way, you have to be very intentional with the way you do that. I use the Taser 10. It's the latest one. Actually, I just went through my certification course again, maybe 3 weeks ago. Not even. And it's fun. Listen, if you're not a fan of tasers because you're like, they're so inconsistent. Most of the time the inconsistency comes from the user. Let's be honest.
So that didn't count. We were in Scottsdale. Just kidding.
Yeah. But
Dude, did y'all see the throne chair at Axon at CES?
The throne chair?
Oh my gosh!
Is that the Thor chair that they have?
Yeah, the Thor.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I already Twitchy Sketch. I already booted that person. I saw what they said coming in here talking about Gaza and shit. Listen, this is not the place for politics, y'all. So okay, I want to do my part 2. I wanted to do this on the live stream, so I'm going to pull that one up tonight. It's going to be the last video that we do. So let me share screen. If you guys happen to catch this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. We're going to biggie size this. Okay, so I want you guys to watch this video, and then we're gonna discuss.
All right, we're gonna play a game. You're the cop.
Go, one house.
Poor transmission.
It's gonna be a 2-parter.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing for now. We may have to share it again. But this video, I did this intentionally because I want people to understand how they start judging videos at face value. This was a good example. Now, the questions, a lot of the questions that people asked were like, he's running into his own house. They didn't have a right to go in there. They didn't see him go into that house. To where I'd argue, you don't know what they saw. You don't know what the officer saw. The timing was just right. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
What you don't know is that was not his house. This guy had just robbed an armored truck. Damn. And then got in a pursuit with police. And that it was somebody they had been watching.
There's probably shit in the air.
It was a known suspect that they had been watching for this particular crime. So they get into this pursuit after he robs an armored truck. And he goes into a house with a gun, points it at the mom that we saw, and tries to take that family hostage. Now, when in the wake of Uvalde, in the wake of other calls that you see where cops, like, the hesitation causes problems. Here you got a cop that didn't fucking hesitate at all.
Zero hesitation.
Zero hesitation. And in my opinion is one of the best reactions to a situation like this that I've seen in a long time. And if that was my family, because you can see at the end, the mom runs out. She didn't get shot at all. There was no hits on her. But that guy ran in there, took her hostage with a gun. He just didn't have any time to set up.
Damn.
He didn't know that cop was right there on his heels yet. I bet he suspected that he was going to have time to start fortifying and dig in or looking for another spot to escape from. And the guy didn't give it to him.
No. But look at big picture, Eric. For everybody that's watching that's never been in this profession, what is that cop going through right now? That cop that truly ended a threat, what is he personally going through? He may have a wife, he may have children. He just ended a huge threat. What is he freaking going to? Alan, Eric, I mean, tell the people that are watching that may not know.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's just.
I'm talking about the procedures. I mean, he may be calling a prepaid legal. They're coming out.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the motions. He may be considered a hero by X percentage of whatever. And that's, he's done his job. But now he's got a whole new set of stresses.
Yep.
Because he did his job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what really bugs me is the general public has no idea of what these heroes, and I'm going to call him a hero because he stopped a threat on public society. But what is he going through personally right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It's crazy. But I mean, damn, your boy went in, did business, saved 2 kids at least that we saw.
Yep.
Saved a mother. And that's the story behind that call. And that's the whole reason I set it up, because I was like, let me do a part 1. I just want to get what people's reaction to it is, see what they think. And I was surprised. I saw a lot of people like, well, I need more information. It doesn't look right. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Like, nobody got egregious one way or the other. Like, some people were like, fuck yeah, that was perfect. And I was like, all right. I mean, maybe they know, maybe they don't. No real explanation, but it wasn't a gotcha thing. That's not what I was going for, but it was more of, I wanted people to understand, like, sometimes we start judging these videos and you got to understand the full picture sometimes. This is one of them, because this wasn't this one was well done. It was well established. Here's the facts of the case. This is what we know. And then you saw what you saw. So,
well, and 10 seconds difference. If he's 10 seconds later to get to that house, like,
yeah, it makes a big difference.
A whole, like, he was on his tail.
But
like,
to me, this was fresh pursuit. This is an exigent circumstance, which is
even if he is 10 seconds behind, but maybe the late, like, everything just worked. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to look at that exigency. And that's what Alan's talking about. That's what Eric is agreeing with, the exigency. Let's say that was 10 seconds later, that the door is shut. Maybe somebody didn't see him run into that. Now it's either a standoff, we're writing paper, we're getting robots, we're bringing people to the scene, we're utilizing our real-time crime center, our quick reaction force to our SWAT team, and then there's more lives in danger. And even though we're cops, we've been doing it for a long time, the last thing we want to see is an officer in hot pursuit mag dumping. There's a reason for it, but that's not what we want to see. There's obviously a reason for it, but it's just like, dadgummit, how did we get to this point? But Alan has a big point on that, and there's probably people commenting. I can't. My comments, or the stream disappeared on my screen in reference to people's comments and whatnot. I think yours did it too, Eric, earlier. But he acted in the moment. From everything shown in that video, he had to act in the moment. So
well, and he, like, even bypassed dealing with the kid and that woman that was outside, and like almost like move out of the way, shoved them out of the way, and like was focused in on going. But like,
well, the woman, she was inside.
Yeah.
When he was firing, she was inside. Yeah.
But even the next group that came, it was like, I can see officers stopping and saying, hey, did you see what's going on? And, like, and worrying about them. They went to the threat.
No,
and that was impressive.
Exactly. He was focused. He knew exactly what he was going after. So,
and then we understand that those that are watching with us and have been for years, we understand the big picture. Every child, every adult that is on scene there has to process this for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the big picture here. That's what we're doing, is bringing the gap in between law enforcement and the community. We see you. We understand what you saw. We're not professionals in that field, but we understand that, and we're here for you. And it sucks for everybody that's involved in this.
Yeah, Ryan said we're gonna get fooled by AI videos too. No, we're already there. I've been fooled by a couple. I'm like, what the fuck? And I
100%.
go to the comments and they're like, AI, and I'm like, what? Oh shit.
Yeah, I caught one the other day that was really good, and the only reason why I noticed it was the New York police badge was it didn't spell right.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny. Some of the smallest details everything else looks fucking solid. The one that I saw was like a dude sitting on his porch, and he does have a gun in his hand, and the cop just walks up nonchalant, bah, 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 and I'm like, holy shit. Like, he didn't say anything. And then look, it was AI. I was like, oh, okay. Thank God. Because that didn't look good. Dude's on his own property just holding a gun, and on his front porch, and they come up and light him up. It didn't look good, but it was fake. So
I've noticed in some of the properties, like if you go and try to download some of them now, they're actually there's like a ghost mark in some of them that are showing that they were AI generated.
Yep. Well, boys, pretty good episode tonight. I think that paid off. I think that was fun.
I think we can do it a little bit more often now, maybe a few times a year. You bet.
Yeah, it was a test, and y'all made it work. Our mods kicked ass tonight. Thank you to our mods for screening everybody.
I think they get a raise.
Yeah, you definitely get a raise.
Yeah,
I'm going to double your salary to what we've got with Banning and Allen's.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Got some cool things in the works for y'all. The DTV stuff is still taking off. Don't get me wrong, we're not done with that. I don't want you guys to think that we stopped. It's still in the works. It's just this is not a fast-moving machine. Lots of progress. Things have continuously went forward and progressed. So I want you guys to know that. But tonight was very fun. I had a lot of fun just the chaplain thing was great. I didn't expect that to do as well as it did. Rogue Nation Audis blessed us with his presence tonight. That was cool. Mr. Billfold jumped on, so maybe we can start making this more of a regular thing.
Yep.
And I don't care.
Vaughn texted me. He's going to come back on in the near future. So
there we go. So Vaughn's willing to jump on, and I like it. I think that's the way we start rolling with this, man. Just let's always leave it open to our community to jump on and say their piece when they want to say it. So, awesome. And there's as long as it's within the criminal justice realm, guys, there's really nothing off the table.
Oh, 100%.
Don't come on here with anything about my department if you know where I work, because that's not going to happen to you assholes. Don't do that to me. It's the one thing that is off limits. So, but I don't think anybody would do that. Even if they did, we'll dismiss it. That's okay.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun tonight. Had a good time. So, all right, guys. Everybody, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's the new time.
Get the word out there. Get new people that's never seen it. Get them to come on. If they're like, oh my God, these are a whole bunch of cops doing an echo chamber, get them with a camera, get them with a mic.
Yep.
Get them on the show.
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
Shout out to our sponsors, Peregrine.io. Make sure you guys check those out if you want to turn your crappiest detectives into Sherlock Holmes. Highly recommend you guys go to them. They are doing a lot of things that I could explain it to you, but it's going to take forever because they do so many things. So that's mostly for law enforcement and DAs and anybody that has some sort of report management system. Peregrine, that's who you want. Ghost Patch, make sure you guys check them out. That's where we get our custom patches from. So you can get ghostpatch.com or you can go to Ghost Patch Customs. Patch, I can't say it. Ghostpatchcustoms.com if you want to get your own fancy ones made.
Whiskey.
Yeah, it is the whiskey, for sure. And then because I haven't been drinking any whiskey. So and then who am I missing? Ghost Patch. Peregrine
Patch 502.
Yeah. Make sure you guys check out Retro Rifle. I got mine on tonight.
Absolutely.
Sporting my Air Force shirt. Right to Bear Arms is what Alan's wearing tonight. Make sure you guys check them out. And then finally, I try to do it as limited as possible, guys. There's our patch. Make sure if you like what we're doing, you like, subscribe, follow. I do my little teenage girl spiel at the very end. Like, subscribe, follow. It's free. It takes 10 seconds. Please. We volunteer a lot of our time. We answer a lot of tough questions. We pull you guys on here. We're trying to get some better gear for Banning because, as you can tell, his shit sucks.
Not delayed.
And if you would so bless us with some of your hard-earned cash, please make sure you go to the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee link or drop a super chat or, hit the membership up. All of that helps us. All of it goes directly back into the show. It's not turning around and buying a Rolls Royce, I promise y'all. So it does help out and it does push the mission further so we can do other things that we want to do. That's my spiel for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Banning, Alan, thanks, guys. Everybody else,
Appreciate it, y'all. Thank you very much.
have a good night. Later.